Hey everyone, Brian from 3 Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
So a redhead tells her blonde friend, I slept with a Brazilian, right? The blonde replies, oh my God, you slut. How many is a Brazilian?
I like that one.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It was like a pink nightmare.
Christmas has a Yule log. Not a log, I don't have a log, but it's...
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more I bequeath you, my son.
Your father was Frankenstein, and your mother was the lightning.
We named the dog Indiana. I am your father.
Hello, sluts, and welcome to another thrilling episode of 3 Geeky Dads. Just want to chime in on that joke there. That's a fun word to say, sluts.
It's funny to hear, too.
It is funny. Yeah,
good.
you're all laughing.
I'm laughing.
Sure.
That's good.
No, welcome to 3 Geeky Dads, the show that guarantees you 50% off talent every 10 episodes you listen to. I am Mark, and with me, as always, are the Joseph and Gordon to my Levitt.
Derek.
Brian.
And joining us, as always, to say F you to math and the title of our show, a man who's too cool for this third rock from the sun, Tito.
Hey, am I French Stewart?
You could be whoever you want. No, you're John Lithgow.
Squint my eyes.
No, I don't like French Stewart. I like John Lithgow. You look
I like John
you're taking
Lithgow,
a
too.
shit. When
That's
you're
what
doing
French Stewart looks
that.
like.
Yeah, all the time.
Every day of his
the
life.
time.
Stoned.
Yeah.
Open your eyes, you bastard.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, French Stewart. Yeah, right.
What the hell
Honestly,
are you
I feel
doing,
like
Jim Brewer.
Matt?
Yeah. I would feel like we hit a rock bottom if French Stewart was a friend of the show. I really would. I'd be
I feel like
"Damn,
we've hit
man, we hit rock bottom.
rock bottom talking about French Stewart for as long as we have. I think we're there already.
Has he done anything since that show?
No.
I can't
This
remember.
show.
Oh, this
He's
all
going
right.
to be on
That's
this
it.
show. Yeah.
Somebody mentioned
Celebrity
yeah,
Jeopardy, right?
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned him on this show.
He's our guest for the next holiday special.
I'll take washed up actors for 100, Alex.
The penis media. Speaking of penises, how's everybody doing? How's everyone?
Shorter,
Everybody having a good
hanging to the
week?
left.
Yeah. Everybody enjoy the Super Bowl. Super Bowl
cold, I've gotten
commercials. Well, we know that. Everybody enjoy the game.
Yeah, you know, so here's a test because I haven't told her yet. So if she listens to the show, she'll find out now. But I won $400 on Squares.
Congratulations.
So
you.
did fucking Mary.
Yeah.
Mary won
Didn't-
$200 on Squares.
Nice.
Fucking devil.
So we'll see. We'll see if she calls me on it. That
Did you
means
win
she
2
listens.
quarters?
If she doesn't, I won the final.
Oh, which was bigger than all
Another
the-
guy won 2, so he actually won more than me. He won 500.
How much was each
Because he
square?
had $10.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
and I bought 4.
Okay.
I usually do.
Good man.
But
Nice.
yeah, I lucked out. I didn't stay up for it, so I didn't find out until the morning. I'm like,
Oh, that's a nice thing to wake up. I got to go to work, but damn, $400
Or
richer.
do I?
Or do- yeah.
Rest of us,
I'm set for life.
$400
If I'm dying this afternoon.
Yeah, totally. If I have an hour left to
I can
live,
buy so much voodoo with this.
Oh, you can buy every Jean-Claude Van Damme movie for me now.
I paid off PayPal, so
Okay.
Nerd.
Start from the back.
you start all over
Yeah,
again.
start all over again.
There you go.
Just build up some more debt.
That's
Life.
It's the American way.
the circle of life.
Yeah. That's French Stewart. He'll tell you.
Did you guys all watch it?
Sure is. I watched it. I saw every time. I saw all the great commercials. Every time Taylor Swift was cheering, and
Did you watch the Nickelodeon version or the?
they got
there was a
slimed.
Nickelodeon.
I wish I had because the
I
kids
did not.
were not paying attention, and I think they probably would have.
Dora the Explorer was explaining like 15-yard penalties
Right.
and things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. I saw
Really?
something like that.
Was she
Yeah,
shouting
I didn't
at
watch
the
it,
top
but
of her
I heard
lungs?
about it.
Travis Kelce was like,
It was a huge
Wipe her
pause.
nose.
he was labeled.
the flag fly?
No, that's way too soft. You got to be louder.
I know.
Hey, kids! I'm Dora! Wanna play?
Ryan Reynolds' wife. Loving
yes.
whatever she
Absolutely.
whatever was happening with her. I was loving every minute of it. The giant gold chain, whatever.
Blake Lively.
Adidas tracksuit.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who she's really hot in is The Town.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She's like a fucking
She's
haggard.
so like
strung
Southie
out. Yeah.
Southie hot.
She named her kid. What she named her kid? Like Charm.
Southie.
Named her kid something.
Oh, yeah. Hada.
Lucky Charm?
Hada. Now I'm going to stuff my fucking face with Pepperzon.
Pepperidge Farms.
Pepperzon. What the hell is that? I almost had it. No, I didn't see that. Apparently somebody went streaking through the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
but they didn't show it. But you could hear Tony Romo going, oh, somebody's streaking. Oh, we can't talk about it. We can't show it. So let's move on.
Tony really wanted to look hard and talk about
Well, it
it.
was Jessica Simpson. That's what was really funny.
Oh, topical.
That's what I try.
Prescription topical.
You know, it's okay when they don't matter anymore. It's never a wrong time to bring up the past.
Friend of the show, Jessica Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica Stewart. Just fucking combine them. So tonight we are flying the skies on the wings of love as we enjoy this Valentine's Day Terry Gilliam style by
That's right.
continuing
Happy
our
Valentine's Day out
futuristic
there.
February with Brazil, the story of love, adventure, and love among office desks, 2 sizes too small. And speaking of 2 sizes too small, our own mini meatball macaroni maestro Brian is
Mini
starting us
meatball?
off with a yummy appetizer.
Thank you, I think.
Yeah, that was definitely a backhanded compliment. in
Mini
there.
meatball. Well, I did say it was cold. And I was
You,
shrinking.
Speaking of short.
you confirmed it right from the start,
You
Brian.
did say you're short.
So I felt okay saying it.
All right.
We're on the same page.
We are on the
and
same
it's
page.
still bigger than mine, man.
Oh, not that we're comparing yet.
No.
Let's go eat, huh?
Tonight, as Mark mentioned,
Sorry.
Tito finds
Sometimes
it
it
funny.
takes a second.
it's okay.
and
It's all right, man.
Then it hits for me.
Better
Yeah.
out than in, I always say.
Yeah.
He's like, how the hell did I get here? You may ask yourself,
This is not my
Why
beautiful
am I here?
podcast.
how did I get into this podcast? Why am I with these chuds?
This is not my beautiful life.
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Tonight, as Mark mentioned, we're going to be talking about the 1985 dystopian sci-fi comedy film Brazil. It's a visually striking movie that tells the story of a lowly government employee who is prone to daydreaming that he's a winged hero who has to save the damsel in distress just to escape his mundane existence. This offbeat Orwellian fantasy is filled with strange and imaginative visuals written and directed by Monty Python's own Terry Gilliam. And that got us thinking, what other actors are out there who went from performing in front of the camera to sliding behind the camera to tell their own stories?
Ooh,
I think you're starting us off, Tito.
I am.
he sure is.
I got a 1A and a 1B.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did too.
I happened to glance over at Brian, so
Oh.
I'm gonna go with my 1B
Okay.
because they're just I think they're equally as good. I'm going Ron Howard.
Oh.
Yeah, Opie, fucking Richie Cunningham. He's made some of my favorite movies: Night Shift, Splash, The Paper, Gung Ho, Willow,
I forgot about The Paper.
Parenthood. I love that movie.
Yeah, that was the one with Glenn
I
Close,
love
right?
Parenthood.
Yeah, Robert Duvall, Michael
Yeah.
Keaton's
The
in
paper's good. Parenthood is awesome.
Yeah.
Parenthood,
Willow.
phenomenal. I watched that recently. It holds up.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
I would have thought it would have been like not right for the times.
No.
but it's everything.
It
is
always sucks being
perfect.
the parent.
Yeah,
that-
right.
that
Perfect
never-
movie.
Yeah.
A Beautiful Mind, Backdraft, Far and Away.
Cinderella Man? Did you mention
Cinderella Man?
And Apollo 13, right?
Apollo
Apollo 13.
yes.
How the Grinch Stole
He
Christmas.
made a lot of movies.
Solo, Star Wars story.
I like that one. But yeah, he's always, especially growing up, I was a big Tom Hanks guy, Michael Keaton guy as a kid. So, and
Night Shift.
some of those movies I just absolutely love. Like Gung Ho, I think is so funny.
Yeah.
Splash, I think is hilarious. Night Shift is hilarious
Yeah,
with
with
freaking
it.
Henry Winkler
Yeah.
and is it Shelley Long?
Yeah.
Right? Shelley Long, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Shelley Long.
that's my guy. I think he can kind of do it all.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
J-
I don't feel like Ron
different
Howard
genres.
has like a.
A genre.
Yeah. he
Yeah,
doesn't-
I agree.
I feel like he's also like an actor's director.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I
he's
would-
one of those-
Yeah.
All these guys would have to be
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
all came from
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
I guess that's true. That was
So,
There's never like he doesn't. I think I know what you're gonna go because I looked at your thing, but both these people, I think, and Ron Howard, I'll say, is one of those guys who I don't think necessarily has a style. Like you don't see a movie and you're like, oh,
think,
that's
oh,
Ron
that-
Howard.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's a Ron Howard movie.
He's just a solid director.
He's just a
Right.
solid,
Yeah.
solid fucking director.
he puts out a solid movie.
He'll get you a hit.
Yeah.
And he makes some good fun movies.
Agreed.
I like that one. I'm going outside the box a little bit on this one because I'm pretty sure everybody would have my number one. My number one pick would be Terry Gilliam, and I was thinking somebody would have this next one, so I'm actually going to go Rob Zombie.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Wait.
Well, he's a performer.
he's a
Yeah. Oh,
performer.
okay. All right.
He's a musician. It's a stretch. I got another one. If
all
this one is not acceptable for the table,
I'll
I
accept
could definitely go.
I'll allow it.
I would also go Quentin Tarantino because he did start as an actor. He was an Elvis impersonator on the Golden Girls.
Ah.
If I had to choose between the two, it would probably be
Quentin.
more Quentin Tarantino. But again,
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was going to be on anybody's list.
Rob Zombie was a
Quentin
production
Tarantino?
designer
He
on
was
Pee-wee's
on,
Playhouse.
That's right. Yes, he
Oh,
was.
I didn't
He
know
was
that.
a PA. Yep, for Pee-wee's Playhouse. As
Mecca
Brian
Lecca
says.
High, Mecca Heiny Ho.
And I like his movies. I've liked most of them, and you know, they're not for everybody. They're an acquired taste for sure, but I just dig his style. I dig his style with filmmaking. I love the Firefly trilogy. I think it's some of the best films that just came out at a time when everybody was just doing a lot of cookie cutter shit.
What was it, House of a Thousand
House of a
Corpse?
Thousand Corpses, Devil's
Devil's
Rejects,
Rejects.
and Three from Hell.
Three from Hell.
Oh, I never saw Three from Hell.
That's the trilogy, and then you had the two Halloween movies.
Yep.
I saw the Halloween. No, I saw the first Halloween.
First
the Salem one?
Halloween,
Yeah,
31,
Lords of Salem.
Lords of Salem.
Yeah, 31 is.
And
one.
I'm pretty
31 was
sure
good.
I am the only man alive that likes Lords of Salem, but I do.
No, I like
Never
it too.
seen
Oh, do you really?
I do too.
Interesting.
I've
Most
never seen
zombie
it.
fans
I
hate
didn't. I
that
didn't
movie.
like House of a Thousand Corpses, but I really liked The Devil's Rejects.
Now, a lot
Yeah.
of people felt
It
that
will
way.
definitely.
Yeah.
I was more. I liked House of a Thousand Corpses, but I was disappointed by it because there was so much hype that it was this like
Oh, Rob
terrifying,
Zombie.
horribly scary
I
movie
fell
that
in love
no
with
one
it
wanted to release.
right away because, again, the only thing that was coming out that time was Scream sequels, and I was
Right.
starting to get Scream ripoffs.
Yeah.
And I was just starting to get tired
was
of it.
outside of the box
And this was
a
like
little bit.
something original.
Yeah.
So that's mine. Speaking of outside the box, this one was a little, but I had to go with a director whose movies I loved. And if I'll throw in my other one if nobody gets
All right.
the one that I immediately thought of. So go ahead.
I am not going to go with the other one that I was going to go with because I have a feeling Brian's going to get it. But I'm going to go.
I have other ones. That's why I knew I was going last.
Too bad.
All right.
I'm going to go
This
with
is
Affleck.
all your fault, Brent. Oh, sorry.
Apparently.
Oh,
I'm going
I-
Benny.
Affleck.
With who?
That was
Ben.
That was the
Ben
first
Affleck.
person who came
Oh.
to mind when
Honestly.
you mentioned this.
I figured
um,
you were going to pick him.
Yeah,
Well,
so did I.
I thought you were going to say Stiller.
Fuck no.
Oh, fun. That's a fun one.
No, I mean he's
I love
good,
Ben
but
Stiller.
no.
Cable guy.
Affleck though, I have
Tropic
liked
Thunder?
every single one of the movies that he's directed, and he's made movies that I didn't think I was going to like. Like
Speaking of the town.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That movie's fucking
Air
awesome.
is a perfect example. I went to that movie, actually got dragged to that movie. Remember, Siobhan wanted to go see
Oh,
it in
you
the theater.
want to see something else?
Right, there was other stuff we could have seen, and I was entertained. It was a really good movie. And
Which movie was it?
Air, the one about
Oh,
the
yeah.
Nike one.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's all around solid, and but I dig him, and he's a great Boston rep.
He
and,
is.
and I loved the Dunkin' Donuts
Oh,
commercial.
man,
Yeah.
those were awesome.
The Dung Kings.
I love the whole the you owe me that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I said I'd do anything because it reminded me of Jay and Bob Strike Back.
yeah.
When,
The good one.
when they were filming Good Will Hunting 2.
Tiger
Yeah.
face.
Oh,
Yeah.
How you like them apples?
Yeah.
Good.
So,
good
yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
I saw Gone Baby Gone like a couple of years ago. I had never seen it. And that's a really fucking good movie for like a.
And it is the first time. Like the second time, I'm thinking Gone Girl, because he directed Gone Baby Gone, but he was in Gone Girl.
Which is a Fincher. I think.
Yeah, similar to how with actors, you are very much like, if you like an actor, you're gonna get your.
Oh, I'm absolutely gonna
You're
see
giving
their
bonus
movie, and
points.
I'll probably like it just
Right.
based on that actor.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like directors can be the same way, because there's definitely people like Rob Zombie or Ben. Like, if you're a fan of the person, you kind of claim them as your, oh yeah, I'm a Rob Zombie
No, that's
guy.
a
I'm a
good point.
Quentin Tarantino guy. They can make, movies that aren't as good as the others, but you kind of give it a pass.
You'll forgive it.
Gilliam's a perfect example too, because
Yeah.
I've definitely been watching more Gilliam movies this
Oh,
weekend.
man.
And
Love his stuff.
Yeah, I
there's-
rewatched The Fisher King for the
Yeah,
first
me
time.
too.
in
That was
about
you?
50
I
years.
watched
Yeah.
that too.
Love that movie.
I had never seen it, and it was
Yeah.
awesome.
That
It's
was
fucking
a great
sad,
movie.
man. It's
Yeah,
It is.
It is sad.
It is.
It is
Sad.
sad. I hope
Yeah.
we should.
You
tackle
can
that
tell by the
movie
cover
sometime on the
that's a
podcast.
sad movie. You
Right.
can just tell
Yeah.
it's not going to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Whenever Robin Williams is on the cover, serious, and his head is down, you know it's not going to happen.
Dimly
You're
lit.
so,
Yeah,
you're so right.
yeah. This isn't gonna. This isn't Mrs. Doubtfire. In his
No.
happy movies, he's always looking up and he's looking at the audience like, hey,
Yep.
you're gonna laugh. When he's in a movie and he's not looking at the audience, it's
on
gonna
the-
it's
on the
not gonna
poster.
have a good
Right.
yeah. Even like Dead Poet Society, when he's being carried off by his students on the cover, he's not looking at us.
No.
He's looking down.
It's hiding the tears.
Yeah. And Patch Adams, I don't know what the hell he was doing. He was just like, no, don't see this. I don't know what All right.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting me pick this one. I'm surprised none of you guys went for it. Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock.
I thought you were gonna take Rob Reiner. I thought you were
kidding.
going
This is my
Rob
runner-up, you
Reiner.
I had Rob Reiner, and that's what I thought you were going to
This is a lie. Oh, yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah, there we
do.
go.
Leonard Nimoy.
No, that's his third. That's
my third
the
choice.
Oh, okay.
choice.
Yeah, come on.
I was going to say.
Search for Spock.
Right, that's
Boy
all he's
Cohen,
done,
right?
Three Men and a Little Lady. Come on, solid movies.
He sang a song about a hobbit. That was
right.
hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah, Rob Reiner. Thank you guys for
Okay.
letting me have this one.
No problem.
Played Mike Meathead Stivic on All in the Family, and he's started directing movies in the 80s with This Is Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride, Stand By Me, Misery, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, among many, many others. And like we were talking about Ron Howard, this is a guy that doesn't seem to be pigeonholed by one. Like, he was a comedy guy as an actor. And you would think that he would be a good
Right.
comic director, which he is.
Yeah.
But he did Stand By Me and Misery, which are two Stephen
Ghost of
King
Mississippi.
stories. Ghost of Mississippi, that's right.
Yeah.
The American President.
A Few
I
Good
love
Men.
that movie.
President.
That's
He did
like
that
one of
one?
my
Yeah, I
favorite
didn't realize that was
romantic.
him.
Yeah,
I
it's one
don't
of my
have that one on
favorite
my list.
romantic comedies, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ron Howard. It's just like no
Yeah.
style. There's like
No,
Right.
he's just a good, solid director.
Just-
And like we were saying, these guys all coming from an acting background really know how to get the best out of the performance
They do.
that they've got
Right.
working
Absolutely.
for them. So, yeah,
I mean,
Rob
Kathy
Reiner
Bates was discovered because of him.
Yeah, she really
no,
was
really-
in Misery, yeah.
Had she hadn't been in
She
Not
had
really,
been,
no,
but that was her
that was when they put her on the
breakout
map. Yeah.
performance. Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
She won an Oscar for that, didn't she?
I think
she was at least nominated,
so.
yeah.
She was. What did she win? I know she was nominated, but I don't know if she won. But the reason I figured you were going to pick Rob Reiner
Yeah.
was because of Spinal Tap
Oh, absolutely.
and The Princess Bride,
Yep.
which is why
Yep. Well,
that
I appreciate you guys.
I was like,
letting me
it's
have
either
that.
going to be that or going to be Jon Favreau.
That's
One of your
that's
backups?
third on my list.
Right, yeah.
I had Rob
Yeah,
Reiner. I
give me
have
some runner-ups.
I have Ron Howard. I've got Jon Favreau and Leonard Nimoy. And if I had to go even deeper, I was going to pick Jonathan Frakes. I was going to pick
Oh, Jonathan Frakes.
Oh, I
yeah.
forgot he's a director.
yeah.
That's
I was
right.
going to pick Peel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan
Peele.
Yeah,
I didn't even
Yep.
think about him.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
good.
I love his horror movies.
So I know she's a newcomer, but I threw Elizabeth Banks on my list because of Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
And I
I forgot she
can't,
did that one.
I can't believe she directed that, and I love her even more.
Yeah.
I've always loved her.
Yeah.
And now it just seals
She
the deal.
produced the Pitch Perfect movies.
No, and she directed. I think she directed
She directed
at least one of them.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I hope she makes more.
But then she made Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
was
but that was one.
And she got all like pretentious about like, no one likes the movie because it's women.
I'm
No,
going by the
No.
art. Going by the art.
I didn't
though.
see it. Did you see
She
it?
fucking directed
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear, and it was awesome.
it was an unneeded movie. Greta Gerwig. is another
That's
good
what I was
female
thinking,
one.
too.
And she
Yep.
started as an actress.
Yep.
I only had
she
2.
did
I had
Barbie.
Howard and fucking.
She did
Rob
Barbie.
Reiner.
Yep.
What else did she do?
She did Lady Bird.
Oh, she did.
Yep.
Dude, I
That's
saw
what
that
that,
movie recently.
Did you?
Yeah, with
I
that fucking
haven't
lady man,
Sure.
Timothy Chalamet.
Don't stop. I like Timmy.
Was it Saoirse Ronan?
Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the best. I fucking love
Yeah.
Saoirse
Great.
Ronan.
Oh, I love her.
She's great in the Grand Budapest Hotel.
And she was my favorite part of that See How They Run.
Oh,
I
she's
loved her in that.
hilarious
She's,
in that.
Yeah, she was a riot.
She's hilarious in that.
I'm going to throw in Clint Eastwood, too, because there are several movies of
you
his
kinda
that I
gotta.
love. You have to.
And I didn't realize until I was looking at his like directorial filmography, but a lot of like the old westerns and stuff
Yeah.
he directed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't know.
he's been directing a
Yeah, he did
long
the Outlaw
Hang 'em
Josie
High,
Wales.
yeah.
He did, yeah.
I didn't
He
realize those were
directed
directed by him.
Oh,
Play
yeah.
Misty for me, too, right?
He did. That was his first one.
Love
That was his directorial
work.
debut.
I do.
Yeah.
I also had Bradley Cooper. I added him in the last.
Oh, no.
What did he direct?
Well, A Star Is Born.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
and then
How
I
can you
think
forget
that,
that?
new movie that he's in, Maestro.
Oh, Maestro.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think he directed it.
Brian, let me ask you this. Does Seth MacFarlane count,
I would say so. He's a performer.
right? Because
he's a voice
he
actor.
created Family Guy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he mostly he was also an actor in it,
I
right?
would say voice acting
And he
counts as
did some
acting.
acting stints
Absolutely.
beforehand.
I would say so.
Hellboy
he's
2,
Pretty
I believe he had
damn.
a voice.
Was he in Hellboy 2?
I believe he had a voice.
Yeah, he was,
He's
he
the
was
fog
the
doctor.
robot
ghost thing.
guy. I gotta watch
Yeah.
this.
Huh.
I'll
Plasma?
toss him in there
I
as
haven't
well.
seen Hellboy 2 as much as I've seen the first Hellboy. The Golden Army.
Yeah.
I think I've
Yeah.
only seen that one twice.
Hellboy 2 is the one that I was like, have I seen this? And I started watching. I'm like, I don't think I've seen this. And then I started watching it. I'm like, oh yeah, no,
I've seen this. Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, it's Seth MacFarlane doing a German Brian,
Pretty much.
not Ramsey, but Brian the dog.
That's pretty much how
Yeah.
I'll get off. I do not sound that much like Peter Griffin. All right. Good appetizers.
Good ones.
All right. So since, so everybody apparently really wanted Rob Reiner, so I guess he's on the top.
He's the
We
top.
gave
Got
it to
quite
Brian.
the catalog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I fucking love Rob Reiner.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
like top 5 for me.
Yes.
He's one of my favorite.
Yeah. And what a
Directors.
pedigree, too, because
One
his
of my
dad,
favorite
Carl
directors.
Reiner.
Yes.
Also an actor,
Absolutely.
director.
That's right.
Yeah, he's
the
meathead.
late, the most, the late Kyle Reiner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
The
right.
recently late.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
Now
just
I'm
died
sad.
last year, right?
Last year, I think.
23 or 22?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Too bad.
You know who died?
Sad.
The inventor of Pop-Tarts. I can't remember his name.
I know. They were saying that
But
today.
somebody showed me an article
Yeah.
and it was
Mr.
like,
Kellogg?
oh,
No, it wasn't Mr. Kellogg.
No.
But the guy was like 100. wasn't he?
96.
96?
At
It was
96,
close then.
he
Oh, good for
invented the
him.
Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
And then he
He
died.
apparently
You think
never
it's
ate
just
any
from-
then, huh?
Oh, then I was gonna say, was that all he ate, or he just didn't eat it? Yeah, right.
He lived to be 96. I don't think he ate any.
The secret to life is Pop-Tarts.
All right, here's one of the questions we brought up today. Can you guys eat the unfrosted Pop-Tarts, or do they have to be frosted?
I
No, they
prefer
have to be frosted.
Oh, a fucking dry Pop-Tart?
that's
Why
gross.
do they even sell those?
No.
Because
they
that's all
shouldn't.
you had at one point.
I guess, but now
Before
that
somebody-
now that you have the frosting, why do they even still?
Oh, you never go back.
You never
No.
go back. Who
No.
buys
Why would
that?
you?
Maybe just old people.
Who buys that?
It's just
Just old people,
I don't-
you know, who
yeah,
who
that's
were
weird.
around when they first came out. and-
Now, one guy at work today said that when he was a kid, they used to get the unfrosted ones because I don't know, maybe that was all they had, but they used to put like vanilla ice cream on it after it was toasted and let it melt.
Well,
That
I
could be
mean,
good.
that's
and
good.
that
yeah.
sounds good.
That's like when
Right.
I was a kid, I used to sprinkle sugar on Cheerios.
Yeah, but when you have
Yeah.
to start
It's like-
doctoring shit,
Exactly.
that means it's not.
I know,
It's not
I know.
complete.
This
That's
is
true.
ready.
You know?
This is ready for
It's like
you.
all these people that put like fruit in their Corona. You know, it's like then it's not beer.
Where's the line?
You know, if you can't drink a Corona without a wedge
jam
of lime,
That's- lime.
That's the motto of chefs.
of chefs.
Yeah, that's why. Like, there's a lot of chefs that in like some high end restaurants.
Oh, well, they won't put salt and pepper on the
right. They
table?
don't. They
Yeah.
don't put things like that on the table because the meal is made how it's supposed to.
Complete.
Yeah.
This is how you're supposed
But what
to
if they
Doesn't mean-
fucked up?
Yeah, exactly.
Then
Nobody's
I mean-
perfect.
Then they get a bad review.
I would put salt and pepper. Just go for it.
I put Spinderella.
Spender.
I don't put salt and pepper on anything.
Salt. Oh, pepper.
I
Nothing at all.
Never.
You don't put salt on anything.
do. No, because I don't know if
You
I'm
know,
gonna
that's
fuck it up or
probably
not.
very
I got it.
Yeah, you
I
got
was
it.
on
You
it.
got
I
it.
remember it.
What?
I
You
went,
said salt
salt
from
Oh,
Brazil.
from Brazil.
Oh yeah, no, I went Sean Mulaney.
Before the food even arrived. The weird chick.
Oh, with the headgear.
Yeah.
I know what you
The
would.
John
salt and
Mulaney.
pepper diner.
Yeah, when Patrick Stewart
yeah.
was
Salt
guest starring.
and-
Salt and pepper. Hey, speaking of salt and pepper, great appetizer. Let's go. Let's move on. Who wants to move on to the main course? Ready for the main course?
Main course.
Main course. Here's my intro because I did not have time to write one.
Oh.
I want a hamburger. No, a cheeseburger. I want a hot dog. I want a milkshake. I want potato
You'll
chips.
get nothing and like it.
We Terry Gilliam movies just are freaking awesome, and that's really all I'm gonna say. Like that's my opening review. I love his movies. Well, I'll get to it with my opening thought, but I'm not starting. So we're going to talk about Brazil tonight. This is a Tito pick, and it was a damn good one, I think.
Absolutely. So glad I finally
We
saw
all
this.
know the Jonathan Price, Robert De Niro,
Catherine Hellman.
Mona,
Michael
Palin.
Yep.
Ian Holm, Bob
Ian
Hoskins,
Holm,
Oh, that's right, Bob Hoskins.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Kim
And,
Grace.
uh,
playing
Yeah.
Great.
Long before he played a plumber.
it does what Terry Gilliam does best. It starts out in an seemingly ordinary world, and just gets crazier and crazier with abstract effects and surrealism, and I love it.
It's funny because the ordinary world in this Terry Gilliam movie is way more bizarre than this guy's dream world.
Yes,
Right.
Which
agreed.
says
Oh,
something.
The
yeah,
dream
yeah,
world
for
is
sure.
peaceful.
Yeah. It's tranquil.
Yeah.
In a way.
All right.
Beautiful.
So, opening thoughts, Tito.
I love this movie, and I like that we picked it for Valentine's Day. It all kind of worked out.
Yeah. Weird.
It's true, yeah.
Because it's not a love story, but it is a love story.
It's got love in it.
It's got love in it.
What's love?
Everything
What's love
needs-
got to do with it?
What's he
everybody
doing?
needs to
He's
love.
doing it for love.
He's
He's
doing it all
chasing
for
that
love.
girl for
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding?
Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
Just like war. Yeah.
What is it good for?
This is one that I saw later. I was probably in my mid-20s. I had seen Baron Munchausen. I had seen Time Bandits. I was having a conversation with somebody at work one day, and they said Brazil, and I'd never heard of it. So she let me borrow the DVD, and I was like, wow, this is fucking amazing. And you can see I love this movie. I think Baron Munchausen is like that perfect end to those three films where he kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
This movie is so erratic. It should give me anxiety, but it doesn't, because it's kind of all over the place.
It is.
and it makes sense, but it doesn't. And it can at times, I feel like, depending on the person watching it, can be hard. And I think Terry Gilliam can be hard sometimes for a viewer, where it's
He's
just like
challenging, which
Yeah.
is what's cool about it.
yeah, right. Everybody
Yeah,
who I know
that's a
who
good way of
knows
putting
Terry Gilliam loves Terry Gilliam, or just doesn't know him at all.
Right.
I don't know that there's a middle ground.
Well,
or
and
that I
especially
know
because
so
like
many people
I think
because
that-
even
so.
people that are like vaguely familiar with Monty Python, like he wasn't really one of the in front of the camera guys.
No, right.
Occasionally he'd play
Yeah,
someone,
right.
but he was mainly director and he did all the animations. So,
Yeah.
which you can see, like that whole imagination that he has
Yeah.
is crazy.
And you see it
I
in
love
virtually all his films.
Right.
You see that.
I love looking for it.
Excuse me. I got some cola.
It happens.
But yeah, I was also like, and the kicker for me, I remember when the person told me, it was like, oh, Robert De Niro's in it. I was like, what? That sounds insane.
Right.
And he absolutely fucking steals this
does.
movie for me. I love him in this movie. And I've always been a Jonathan Pryce fan, and I like that this is like one of the few instances where he's actually leading guy, which he can carry the movie, and he's not just the character actor Jonathan Pryce, who is a phenomenal actor, but doesn't have to play a bishop or a pope or some evil villain or some side character.
A horse.
Yeah, right. He actually is like a very likable character and hero in this movie.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic film.
Nice. So back in 1998, I was going to UMass Dartmouth, and I was having a particularly awful day, much like Jonathan Pryce in Brazil. At the time, I was just feeling like I was bogged down by bullshit.
Yeah.
Just work, papers, essays, whatever. So I had a break between classes, between the afternoon class and evening class, and I decided to hang out in the library. And in the library at the time, you had TVs with headphones, and you could rent movies from the library and watch
Watch
them.
them right there.
And
Nice.
guess what I picked out? I picked out a movie called Brazil because it was either that or Chinatown for the upteenth time. So I figured I'd give Brazil a try. And you know what? It just made me face the rest of that day in particular, with gusto, because I was just feeling what he was feeling. I just wanted to fly out of UMass Dartmouth, man. And I hadn't seen it since. Like, I couldn't even remember if I liked it or not. I remember liking the feeling that I felt after watching it, but I didn't remember if it held up like
that
some of
guy's
the
my day. Is it
other
going as shitty
Terry
as that
Gilliam
guy's?
films. that I love. You know, like I get like 12 Monkeys and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which is my favorite film. So favorite that I can't even say it. Oh, I absolutely love it.
We'll talk.
Oh, you fucking idiot. Did you watch it?
I did.
What the hell is the matter with you?
Everybody's
no, you know
got a
what? No,
prince.
never mind. Let's get back to the good
Everybody
stuff.
has their prince.
That's true. Thank you.
That's right.
So,
We were listening to Prince earlier.
yeah.
Mark doesn't
I don't like
Prince for some
Prince,
reason.
and
Mark
I
hates
get
Prince.
crucified
He's a
for it,
fucking
so
loser.
it's okay. I am a loser. Where was I going with this? So, upon rewatching it, I discovered that I loved it just as much, if not more so, for all the reasons we talked about.
Nice.
Boom.
No, I think that Terry Gilliam deserves so much more credit and praise than he gets. I think.
And you better like more of his movies.
Well, I do. He's got a very big catalog. Well, a relatively big catalog of movies. I don't like this one. Definitely feels more him that I was familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think a lot of like the three. Those actually I should say four because Jabberwocky too. But
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Jabberwocky, Time Bandits, this and Munchausen definitely felt more like. Oh yeah, the guy that does the animations for Monty Python.
Yeah,
like
he's the guy that directed Holy Grail.
right. And I think as his career progressed, like he has that same imagination, but he really started tackling like real world issues, and I think this was a prime example of it. Like the way that he shines a light on, issues in society, and
Consumerism.
right.
Yeah.
And like, so it's like, cause we talk about it a lot on the show. Like there's movies and stuff that we watch that have messages like that, but they hit you over the head with it over and over. And whereas this is just, it's such a wild ride and everything is like, especially this one it's so fucking bizarre. Like there's just so much weird, zany stuff in this that I love it. I love his style and I love like, pretty much everything that he's been. I do like Fear and Loathing. I just
Don't backtrack.
No.
The damage has been done.
It's just at the bottom of my Gilliam list.
That's ridiculous.
So far. I only have 3 more to see.
I think like Jabberwocky. I watched that recently.
Yeah.
It's a tough watch.
Yeah.
For me, it's a tough
yeah.
watch because I feel like he doesn't like quite have it.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite know what he is.
Right.
It's
For
almost like
me,
he's
that's
trying
how
to
it feels like.
recapture the essence of Holy Grail.
Right, but
He's trying to catch that magic in a
but
bottle
then incorporate like his own ideas of like where he's going to go in his career.
Right.
And it feels more complete in Time Bandits and then more so complete as he goes on. Where that one, I watched it like 2 months ago.
I think
was like, I haven't seen it.
Munchausen is probably like the one where it's the most Python Gilliam.
Oh yeah. Of
Like-
that grouping of films,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So all those films are awesome. I really like them, but I think I'm more post the fantasy
Like,
Python
so like
stuff.
12
I love
Monkeys
12
and-
Monkeys, Fear and Loathing.
Have you seen
think
Tideland?
No, I haven't yet.
What's that?
Tideland.
Oh,
Jeez, I
Tideland.
should.
So
Wow.
it's a
What was the other one?
hard-
The Fisher King.
It's a
too.
hard
Sorry.
watch.
Yeah, the Fisher King.
It's definitely a hard watch.
That's a tough one too. Yeah, I don't love that movie.
Tideland?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a lot of stuff going on that's like it's just kind of like there's some rough stuff. It's hard to watch, but like in the end, looking
I
back
haven't
at it,
seen
I was
it.
like, oh, that's really
I'll have
good.
to check that out. Again, nothing against the early stuff. I love it, but the further he goes from, the Monty Python route, I've dug him and his films
Yeah.
more.
And I
Strange.
think most of his stuff has a display of a view of the world.
Yeah.
This one
He
think
tackles
has
a lot of social
tons.
issues in his own way.
he
Right.
does.
Yeah,
Right.
Carpenter was really good at doing that too.
Yeah.
Carpenter was always really good at like
in this-
Without-
telling you what he hated about the world in his movies, but
Right.
making them
Yeah,
very,
without
making
beating
them
you over the
entertaining.
head with it.
And I think
Exactly.
that's what makes this one of the best movies because there's so much of that in there,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it doesn't feel like you're getting beat over the head. It's just great. It's a great movie.
Agreed. Brian.
Yeah, like you, Mark, I remember seeing this movie way back in the day. I didn't see it in the movie theater. It came out when I was still in high school. I remember seeing clips of it on TV. I might have seen Siskel and Ebert doing it on their show. And I remember mostly being like drawn towards the scenes of him in his fantasy world with the wings
with
and
the
the suit of
wings.
armor.
Yeah.
Right.
And flying around and thinking, that's fucking cool. I want to see this movie. And then I remember renting it. I didn't see it in the movie theater, but I remember renting it a few years later when it was available and thinking it was the weirdest fucking thing I had ever seen. I'm like, it's nothing but pneumatic tubes and pipes. And this is so fucking weird and bits of paper everywhere. And let's for years, that's all I thought this movie was.
Yeah.
And then I revisited it maybe 10 years after that and liking it a lot more. I was able to absorb more of it, and I was a little more, quote unquote, worldly maybe. And I was, Tito, don't laugh.
No, I like that.
So I was able to, get what he was trying to say, like the over bureaucratification of everything. Everything is Terry Gilliam likes to pick on the minutia of everything and blow it up in his movies. Like forms.
Yeah.
Like, and this goes back to his Monty Python days and they just this has to be filled out in triplicate, and do you have such and such, and they're rattling off the names and numbers of these fucking forms, like, and you have to get this one stamped and bring it up to Mr. Tuttle, blah, 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 blah. It's just, he just showcases that so well in this movie.
Yeah.
And I love it. Watching it last week with you guys, I was like, oh, this movie's fantastic.
It really
It made me think of Futurama.
I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of Futurama.
But there's a bureaucrat character.
I'm sure, yeah.
I think he's Jamaican. Yeah.
You want the glasses?
Yeah.
Oh, I know the guy you're talking about.
And he same thing, like things in triplicate.
Yeah.
Going to a place and waiting. And
But it also kind of reminded me a little bit of Douglas Adams with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Pulls the same stuff, and I don't know if they were colleagues or if they were just kind of like ripping off each other because they're both from Britain.
They borrowed.
Anyway, I like what you were saying, Tito, about
he's an American.
he is originally he's American, but
realize that he was born in Minnesota.
he was
That
born
shit
in
bums me
Minnesota.
out.
Yeah,
It bums me out how much he hates America.
Yeah,
Like, fuck you, dude. You're from Minnesota.
Although he's made some movies now in America. He broke his rules. He had like 3 rules, and one of them was he didn't want to make anything
in America.
Well, you got to pay the rent.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
got to pay the bills.
But I was going to say, I like what you were saying, Tito, about Jonathan Pryce, because my introduction to Jonathan Pryce was in Something Wicked This Way Comes, and he was such a cool bad guy in that movie. I had a tough time grasping that this was the same guy the first time I had seen it, but liking him a lot. He was such an everyman in this movie.
Yeah.
This was kind of like my introduction to Jonathan Pryce, and I really liked him in this movie. I think the next thing I saw him in after this was it Jumpin' Jack Flash? Where
he was Jack.
But he was
He's
Jack,
at the
but
end. He's
through the whole
just the
movie,
voice.
it's just his
He's
voice
just
on the
the voice.
computer.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, he would make such a cool voice for an AI, even before I knew what an AI was back then. And that's where I really started to fall in love with this guy, and I've kind of followed his career a little bit ever since. Love that he popped up in Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's right.
So many other things. Yeah, and now he looks a lot like the Pope that we have now.
Yeah.
I always said that when they
Did he
elected
play
this
the
new
Pope
Pope
in something recently?
He might have.
He played
He
a
looks
Pope,
just like
I
him.
think.
I'm sure.
Two popes?
I'm
The
sure
two
he did.
popes?
Was it the two popes? But yeah,
think
no,
he plays one of them.
I do dig this movie.
Popula.
I've always been a huge Monty Python fan from way back in the day. I grew up on the Holy Grail and The Life of Brian and all the other Monty Python movies. So when he started making his own, Time Bandits was my big intro to Terry Gilliam, and I've never looked back.
We didn't watch
He is a
Monty
guy.
Python in my house growing
We were
up.
talking before about directors that don't seem to have a style. This guy has a style.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
You can look at any
Sure.
scene and
Absolutely.
immediately say,
Yeah.
this is a Terry Gilliam movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Without a
Very
doubt.
true.
One of the things he does, and I love directors that do this, is he focuses on the outsider, the person that does not want to be a part of society,
Yeah.
and breaks
the
away
misfit.
from it through, again, surrealistic adventure. From Munchausen to even Hunter S. Thompson, even though that was based on a book.
Right.
It's the same thing, except
Yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson's escaping into a world of drugs.
Yeah.
So Terry Gilliam picks that up and just adds all this kind of surrealism and fantasy to it.
Terry Gilliam reads the book. He raises his hand and says, I can film that.
Yeah. Which it's a pity if you watch Lost in La Mancha,
I want to see that.
I would have loved to have seen what he would have done with that film.
The drama this poor sap has to deal with almost every movie, it seems. Like there's a whole thing that goes on with Brazil.
Yeah.
Fighting with the studio about getting his version of the movie.
Yeah.
Steinberg Wood Company.
Yeah.
But that's always been the appeal is and Tim Burton kind of has that, and even John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Those who focus on the one outsider.
Even little Kevin in Time Bandits, he was the outsider. His parents wanted
Little
nothing to do
Kevin,
with him.
Yep, exactly.
Wanted nothing to do with him.
Bruce
Talk about
Willis,
the ultimate outsider, not
12
even wanted by
Monkeys.
his family.
Yeah. Anything that goes against the establishment.
Yeah, that's
right.
I think that's why we all love him.
All right, and with that existential thought,
start
shall
the
we
category?
go to
But
the
as
categories?
deep as Brazil there, Mark.
Thank
All
you.
that and more on this week's episode of 3 Geeky Dads.
That's right. Complete with gas.
Hey-o.
I had to lighten it back up a bit, so always toss in gas.
Don't lighten the
That's
gas.
why I always toss
Yeah,
again.
don't-
Light a match.
Don't throw that match.
Charlie,
Light a match.
Favorite scenes? I don't know how they do this effect, but I absolutely love it. I know he's not really in the sky. Every scene with Jonathan Pryce in the sky, I fucking love. I don't know how they do it.
It's great.
The clouds, they're not cotton. There's something.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. I want to be in that sky. It looks like the purest sky you've ever seen. Any scene that he's flying in, I love the look of his suit. I like the way his wings move. They don't look hokey at all.
Yeah. No.
It doesn't look forced. It actually looks like it's functional. Those are my favorite scenes because I'm just in awe whenever I see him in the sky. I'm just like, fuck, how did they
I'm just
do
going to say
that?
me too, because that's what drew me to the movie when I first wanted to see it. Yeah.
His hair and whatever is like,
It's very
but
80s.
The armor and the fucking
and
wings.
the face paint.
Well, he's
Dude,
like
in the
a
sky,
rejected comic book character or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something about the fucking sky. It just looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it does. It looks like
I
a
don't know how they
painted
do
dream.
it. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I got two. Yeah, the first one, it's very funny to me. I don't know why. Is when Jonathan Pryce is going to the head office or whatever, and there's this cluster of people following the big boss, and they go like it's like a Scooby Doo moment. Like they appear, they cross, and then they disappear, and then they're on the other end of the hall, and they reappear and disappear. And he's just trying to make heads or tails of where they're going. I really like that.
He's trying to
scene for
catch
some
up to the
reason.
boss. To
Right, but they keep
his new
disappearing.
assignment.
And they're just walking in unison in that little cluster, like insects. I don't know. But the scene that always that's going to stick with me forever is when Robert De Niro is fixing the heater. And he opens it up, and it's like a circulatory system, complete with a heartbeat, and a pumping heart. It sounds alive, and that is so cool. And I love that they stayed on that
And he
for such a long time.
And he installs a bypass.
He does. He's performing surgery on it, and I think it's phenomenal. I just love that idea. It's like this living organism in Jonathan Pryce's home, and that's moving around, that's breathing, that's pumping all the fluids and everything. It's that's
behind
so cool.
all those panels, like his
Right.
whole wall is
It's
just
so-
a series of panels.
It's like the breathing on the Nostromo for Alien. That ship sounds alive.
Yeah, it does.
I love when inanimate objects in films are given this hint of life. Even
Well, that
if
was
they're-
one wet ship.
It really was. It was a
Everything in
slimy
that
ship.
movie dripped.
It was. It was. There was a lot of steam.
Yeah.
A lot of steam from Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah.
he was
steamy
giving off a lot of steam.
giving off. Had a head full of steam with
Harry
his
Dean.
bonus.
Yeah.
How come you don't freeze it? Those were my two big scenes.
I had so many, but the restaurant scene with Catherine Hellman.
Oh God, yeah.
When there's the terrorist attack, and like people just go on about their business. And,
Oh, yeah.
like there's people dead.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
floor, like-
Bodies went flying right behind them.
and they come over and they're all apologizing for it. And
They bring the curtain over so
Right,
they don't have to look at
right.
the damage. Yeah.
the apartment scenes, like Sam waking up and running late for work, and like his little like the toaster thing, and
Oh, that's a great scene, yeah.
Obviously De Niro, and I loved the finale. Like it gets really, really like fantastical, and rightly so, because then you find out it's all in his spoiler, it's in his mind. But like I loved that they kept that ending, and like it's true.
I'm glad that he fought for it
Right.
and was able to get his way.
Absolutely, because I think it's the ending that fits better. It makes more sense, and it's more relatable.
And it's absolutely
The fact that-
creepy.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
such a creepy ending.
Well, and
is.
just the fact that like if you're stuck in that type of world, like you're better off like just being
Yep.
in your own dream world in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I think that rings true for a lot of
But
people.
it's amazing how it starts out like this little adventure film, but it ends so grim, like a
Right.
horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's chilling.
His best friend is going to lobotomize him.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, God.
Oh, that reminds me, Derek, we need you to stick around.
Okay.
Mark got some new knives.
Oh, right there.
Cool.
He wants to show you later.
Shiny.
Right there. Gotta jam it right in there.
Yeah, I told like Tito the flying scenes, and I also love when Harry Tuttle first comes into the apartment. Fantastic scene.
And when he swings
Fantastic
away,
scene.
I love
Oh,
every
the
time
zip
he
lines.
exits. Dude, I don't know where the fuck he's going, but awesome. Awesome.
You don't need
At
to
like
know.
100 miles per
You
hour
don't
too.
need
to
And
know.
I was like, well, how's he gonna stop?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
He's a freelance heating engineer, and he's leaving the apartment like he's on
Amazing.
a one man
Yeah,
SWAT
right.
team,
Oh my god.
Or he's Batman.
Fucking
or Batman.
flying down
yeah.
that thing. You're like, he's gonna crash into something.
You will believe De Niro can fly.
So good.
Yeah.
I always liked Robert De Niro. I think it's only more recently that I've come around to that he's just like one of the greatest actors that ever lived.
I would agree.
I've always I always liked Robert De Niro. I
love
never
De Niro.
disliked a Robert De Niro movie. Mm-hmm. He's not someone I remember like.
Well, he's a
Robert
very,
De Niro.
very big method actor. You know, you got to respect it.
Yeah.
He
always struck me as this actor who has, and I've seen many of his movies, but just kind of played this one character. But the range is there, and he's a fucking phenomenal actor. He can do a lot.
And he's
of things.
great with comedic work.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
funny.
he's
So
funny.
funny.
And
He's funny.
he could be.
And that was something I had no idea that he could do until
Right.
I saw
Like Meet the Fockers.
No,
or-
Was
the
he
one
Midnight Run?
I did
Ever
see
seen
Midnight
that?
Run. I forgot about that one though. But no, the one where the shrink.
Oh,
there.
Analyze This.
Oh, Analyze
yeah,
This.
Yeah.
Now, just imagine though, the same guy who's playing what's his face and Analyze This is played Max Caddy in Cape Fear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
right,
exactly.
right,
Travis
right.
Bickle
Yeah.
in
Travis
Taxi
Bickle.
Driver was
Yeah.
also
That you counselor.
was also the dad in Meet the Fockers or
The
Meet
fan,
the
and the
Parents or
fan,
whatever.
right? He
Oh, yeah, that's right. I
He was a
forgot about
psycho
The
in
Fan.
the fan.
Oh, is that the Wesley Snipes?
Wesley
movie?
Snipes,
Yeah.
yep.
I forgot about that one.
My favorite Robert De Niro moment, and in any movie, and it's such a minor moment, it only lasts a couple of seconds, is in Goodfellas when Maury's wigs don't come off, is hassling him again and again for his money, and Henry pulls him away into the other room and calms him down and gets him to leave Robert De Niro alone. And Maury starts singing Danny Boy, and he starts singing to himself, and he starts walking away. And then Robert De Niro is at the bar, he's got the cigarette, and he just watches Maury leave, and Deep Purple starts playing.
Okay.
He says nothing, he does nothing, but he has this look on his face like, that motherfucker is gonna die. And he does nothing to convey this. You can just see it in
Just his
the
eyes.
look.
Yeah.
And I love moments like that with actors, those little tiny moments that you would just kind of glance over,
Oh, it's more than just the words on the page.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be said. There's no bartender like, hey,
Yeah,
Jimmy, we
right.
got to do something about this. He
It's
just
fully formed.
You just
It's
know.
fully formed.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. What doesn't work for me? I love this movie. Kim Grice kind of doesn't work for me. I know that they had issues and he cut some of her stuff out. You're told that she dies.
They don't show it.
They don't show it. And if you miss it, you don't even hear it.
Right.
She's just gone. But yeah, she's just okay. And I read that Ellen Barkin was the original choice. Man, I like Ellen Barkin.
I know you mentioned that not that long ago.
I probably would have preferred Ellen. I just think she has this great way about her where she could have portrayed both versions of this character, like the damsel flying through the air, but also like the tough, but
Right.
also like super sexy
Truck driver.
Truck driver. So yeah, she's fine. I think she's fine, but she.
Fine.
Yeah, not even that. Not even
Not
that
even that
good.
fine.
No, it's just, yeah,
Like George Carlin, a place to keep my stuff. Fine.
fine. Yeah.
How's your hair?
I
Fine.
think, yeah, I think she's the most bland thing about this movie,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yep.
And she's trying, but it's just not hitting for me. I know it works for the story. I don't like Sam getting promoted. I really like Ian Holmes' character in this
me
movie.
too. Totally.
He is so funny, and I love
He's
that.
so reliant on Sam.
Yeah, right. I love how he needs him around, and I feel like they could have worked that in where like he just uses Ian Holm to get all the information he needs.
Right.
Because Ian Holm has that connection, but then you miss out on some really funny moments or interesting moments. But
The
yeah,
desk.
I absolutely love that he works Ian Holm, and I hate that he just is gone as the movie goes on.
Yeah.
So that's it.
The scary babies
Scary babies.
don't work
scary
for
baby
me
faces.
because
Yeah.
from far away they look awesome and
Yeah.
they look like they're going to be these repulsive kind of creatures. And when they lift their heads up, they're these really bizarre, almost cheap-looking baby masks.
Yeah.
That's the only moment where I'm like, we could have had something better. That would probably be the only.
But that's
And then Michael
pure,
Palin wears
that's
it at
pure
the end.
It's
Gilliam.
pure Gilliam, and
Right.
that's it doesn't kill the film. It doesn't hurt it
No.
in any way. That's just a personal
Yeah.
thing where it's like, I was expecting something a little more grotesque,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh yeah, especially because he's fighting this fucking samurai.
Right,
and they
right.
look-
Where do babies
they got
fit
crazy
into this?
hands
You know,
and-
I even if they were like purposely cheap masks of adults, I kind of would get that because that would fit the whole criteria of the slaves
Yeah.
working for corporate.
Yeah.
But babies, like, where are we? It just
Maybe
comes out of
maybe
left
that's
field.
Sam's fear that this is what he's supposed to do is to procreate.
Oh, that's
to-
true.
There you go.
That's
to
true.
to conform, and right now he's single. He doesn't want to be set up by his mom. He doesn't. He wants to do what he wants to do, and he's. This is probably him thinking like, this is what society wants of me. I've got to produce a lot of babies to keep this societal machine thumping
Keep
along.
The gears going. Oh, that's good.
So when you go, if you say it that way, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could have been in another moment. Or a
Visually,
different scene or
I
something.
love it though, because it's like a combination of like, remember his death from Monty Python's Meaning of Life?
Yeah.
Remember the salmon mousse.
Yeah.
I didn't have the
Did
salmon.
you use can? What are you doing, American girl? Wait, I didn't have the same. The can. It was canned.
It reminded
That's
me
right.
of like those creatures reminded me of that. They had the hoods pulled over their faces.
Yeah.
And somehow the Minotaur.
They reminded you of death.
The Minotaur. It was like a combination of that and the Minotaur from Time Bandits. Remember that? It's like just ratted and tattered, and it's pure Gilliam.
That's
pure
fine.
Gilliam. I love it.
no
I love
problem.
his style. It's all you.
I hate seeing Michael Palin as a bad guy.
Oh,
I
that's
really
tough.
do. Mainly because before I
He's
ever
likable though.
well, and
As
I know the whole thing with like not knowing the triplets.
Oh yeah,
Like,
time.
I'm pretty sure this is one of
flies
them.
or whatever.
That's one of my favorite quotes.
Time
Right.
does go by fast.
But
Why on time?
I think the first time I ever saw him was Fish Called Wanda,
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
and he's such this like innocent kind of like
Oh, the animal lover.
yeah,
And he keeps accidentally killing the
Right.
lady's dog.
right,
Yeah.
and he's
Got
like
the stutter.
like yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he's got
What's
yeah.
the
it's-
matter? Ken?
Yeah. Look
Can't
at
shoot your tongue.
yeah.
I don't like seeing him like that. That was the worst part about the ending was like that he was, he turned his back on his friend. I didn't like
Yeah.
That was
he
his job.
wins.
I wasn't. The samurai thing was kind of weird, and I know if that's a weird thing to say about a movie by Gilliam because everything's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that he likes Kurosawa. That was like his kind of like shout out to that, but it just felt the most out of place than anything in this movie. And I also didn't like the fact that it didn't take place in Brazil. Like, I get that he liked the song. So he's like, and I guess he came up with the idea of the movie while he was listening to the song. So
Originally, the movie was going to be called 1984 and a half.
right,
Oh,
right,
yeah, I saw that, yeah.
It was going to be released in 84, and it had a lot of George Orwellian aspects to it.
Right. Yeah.
But he's also a huge Fellini fan, and it was 8.5 Weeks was Fellini's big movie. So he was going to combine the two and call this 1984 and a half.
You can totally see the Fellini
But then
stuff
they
with all the
actually
quirky
came out with the
characters in that
1984 movie in 1984, and he's like, well, fuck that. I can't do this now.
Michael Palin, I feel like, is really good at still being likable because there's a scene
Yeah,
before
I
that
agree.
where he's like comes out covered in blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
And
still
he's like, well, they
all
didn't
cheerful
tell.
and
I did the right thing. They gave me the guy with the bad heart.
That's
It's
right.
Like, dude, you fucking
Yeah.
scumbag.
Yeah.
But he's still kind of likable
Yeah.
when he's talking about.
He's an adorable
his work and
villain.
he's
Yes.
doing
He's
his-
an adorable
Charmingly
villain.
doing his
befuddled.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I remember seeing the cover of this movie, like in the video store and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I always thought that this was like some type of 80s, takes place in.
Oh, it's got the neon.
Yeah,
right,
because
it's all
Brazil is in
neon.
neon,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right? I'm like thinking it's like the episode of Black Mirror, San Junipero. Like, that's what I thought I was getting.
Okay, yeah,
and then
yeah, I know
it's
what you're talking about.
totally not. And
No.
It doesn't take, there's no mention of Brazil other than the fact that the song keeps coming up. But I guess it still works. So there's not much for
There wasn't
it
enough,
doesn't
like
work.
capoeira for you, or
Right.
the favelas. You wanted it to be in the favelas.
Brazilian
Fucking-
wax.
That's what City of
Like,
God is
why
for.
wasn't there at least a scene of Catherine Hellman getting a big, a Brazilian wax?
Oh, good job on the liver spots,
They pulled
boys.
it all the way back. Stretch that bad boy.
Because it's better to see her stretchy head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
oh God, that was hilarious.
And it does the same thing in Fear and Loathing. She's at the bar, and I think it was a nod to Brazil because it
Yeah.
starts stretching on its own.
Oh, yeah?
And it was like, hey, remember I did Brazil and I did this to her? I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. I still have yet to see Fear and Loathing.
Well, see it.
I
Tell me
haven't-
what you think.
I haven't watched it
Maybe
yet.
you'll go, or maybe you'll prefer the older stuff.
was that like
Sweet
98,
Pea.
99?
Yeah. So earlier.
Earlier, maybe? Yeah. I was in high
Mid-nineties?
school when that came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
That
See,
was
I'm a fan
such
of
a
the book.
popular movie.
Yeah.
I know so many people who absolutely love that movie.
That was
We
one of
saw
those
it
movies
all
they
the
had
fucking
pictures
time.
on the dorms in
Yeah,
college
right.
and everything.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Because
But
then,
granted, but then like 1% of the people who fucking saw that movie and loved it back then, honestly, I don't think there's a huge percentage of those people who are
There
like
isn't. It's a
Terry
cult
Gilliam
hit.
fans.
Right.
Yeah.
They just love that fucking movie.
And they were all probably high watching it. So
That's possible.
I wasn't, but
but I will be.
And my problem with that movie is that it
Is it
usually
because
has
it's
a
based
story
on a book?
And that's the thing. I think it's probably because of the fact that like it wasn't his original stuff. Like he definitely puts his spin, like
Yeah.
the lizard people and
Oh, the lizard
Yeah.
people,
Like-
and the bats.
right.
I
Like
crack up at
there's-
Johnny Depp with the bats.
it's definitely a Gilliam movie, but it's not. It's like not from his mind.
It's so
I can
weird.
get-
You're like
I can
watching
get
it through
that.
a fisheye lens. It's
Yeah.
Right.
nuts.
But
and
everything
it's
is
just it was
so,
just like,
like-
oh, they're just doing more drugs.
But it's
Okay.
really like it's like a Muppet movie on acid thing because there are tons of cameos. It's Benicio del Toro.
that's
It's
true.
Johnny Depp. They're trying to get to a location. They come across everybody from Tobey Maguire to your boy from the 13th floor. He's in it.
right. Oh, that's right. Craig
Like
Bierko.
I love adventure movies like that. That's an adventure movie. Even
I
though
just
it was-
kind of wish it had more of a plot. Like
Well,
it didn't seem like there was
when
much
you're on
of a
a lot
story.
of drugs,
It was
plot
literally just a
kinda
trip.
goes. And if you ever read the book,
Yeah.
that's pretty much how it is.
Now, have you seen Where the Buffalo Roam?
No, I want to.
Okay.
I want to.
Oh, that's the Bill Murray one.
Bill Murray
Yeah,
and
I've
Peter
never
Boyle
seen that
as
either.
Those two guys, right?
Mr.
As
Gonzo there.
Dr. Gonzo and
Benicio del Toro's character in Fear and Loathing is played by Peter Boyle,
right.
which I
Okay.
have yet to see.
Oh, interesting.
So this became the Fear and Loathing show. I
No,
apologize.
sorry.
Yeah,
No,
take it
my
easy.
fault. My fault. I harped on it with Mona.
Welcome to Three Geeky Hunter S.
Stretch
Thompsons.
Mona. I read that book and then I read it again.
Did you
That's how
really?
much I love that book. It's
Wow.
just pandemonium. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like
He's a very
Yeah,
interesting
that's a
guy.
good word.
oh, Hunter S.
Brian, what about you? What doesn't work for you?
First, I put nothing because I absolutely love this movie. But Tito's right. The one that played Jill is kind of a wet blanket.
Yeah.
And if
Wet
I had to say,
blanket. I like that.
if I had to say what doesn't work for me, it would be her.
Yeah.
She's fine as the damsel because you only see snippets of her floating in the clouds, trapped in a gauzy net kind
Right.
of thing.
Giant bird net.
She is beautiful.
She's fine in that one.
Yeah.
Like that part, she's fine.
Yeah,
but
I
then
think
when
she's very attractive.
Yeah,
She's-
with the long hair.
Not
Maybe,
giving me
maybe it's her
anything.
haircut. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that she's got short hair in the real world.
There's just
There
really
are
nothing
points where
to
I feel
the
like she's in a
performance,
different
though.
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's points where I feel like she's acting.
She's
in a
definitely
different
the
movie.
least interesting out of
She
all the
really
characters.
is. Yeah, she really is. So I have to go along with Tito. If that doesn't work for me, I'm going to.
Sorry, Ms. Christ. Like,
That's right.
What has she done
She
since
doesn't-
then?
nothing. I know.
Seriously.
Probably not.
Get in the cage with French Stewart and whoever the hell else we made fun of. Jessica Simpson.
Frenchie's stew.
I love Frenchies too.
Does anything work for me? The music, the costumes, Robert fucking De Niro, Ian Holm. They're my two favorites in the movie. So all those things work for me.
Going to agree.
Good call.
The cast, the effects, and the music. And the story, really. I mean, there's nothing that it all works.
Yeah. I love the set designs, all the
Yeah.
the Gilliam tropes. It really does like ooze Terry Gilliam.
like
And then
that.
like all the what the fuck moments, the
Yeah.
the poop
Of which
suit
there are many.
explosion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of which Derek said when we all
Yeah.
watched it, what the fuck?
And that's why I wrote it like that because it was I like the facelift, the visceral bombing aftermath, the old drunk man looking at the model of the building.
Oh yeah.
It looked like he was
Like
that made me
Godzilla.
jump.
like, yeah. I'm
You,
like,
like,
okay, now what the fuck? Yeah.
You almost jumped. You were like, ah.
Because I honestly thought it was like I thought it was like a Gilliam. Like,
Now what
oh,
movie am I watching?
right. You did
Right,
not see
like
that
what the
coming.
fuck is going on
Did
now?
not see
Yeah.
it coming. No.
No.
I forgot too. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
There's
I
the
know.
guy with the ship on his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking,
I know we didn't. I'm sure he doesn't want to always. I feel like John Cleese needed a part in this film, though. With
think
his
so?
stiff upper-lipped, business-like performances I've seen in like The Meaning of Life. I feel like there was a role for him.
Yeah,
He could have been his
small.
room-
He could have been. He
roomie.
could have been his new boss.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I mean-
give that to him, and that
Yeah.
would have been fine.
Yeah.
He
Right.
plays that part well.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the next door, the guy sharing the table with him. I think he could have done that.
But they didn't really get along, right?
Who?
Didn't Cleese and Gilliam butt heads?
Gilliam doesn't get along with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm
He's
thinking that
he's
he's
a
the
rebel.
common denominator.
Yeah.
Right. Which is
Yeah.
why he likes the rebels because he is one.
Right.
Yeah.
But who knows?
He's a really good after the fact kind of guy. Like, oh, really? I did that? I'm sorry, guys. I read this whole thing on him and Sarah Polly. Like, he scared the shit out of her
Right.
when they were filming
Oh,
Baron
Munchausen.
Munchausen. And she said something about it years later. Not in a like, you were an asshole to me, but somebody asked her about the making. She was like, well, it was kind of scary. And he was like, oh, I had no idea that I scared you like that. And he apologized,
Yeah.
like a really heartfully apology.
Good for him.
He
She
doesn't
appreciated,
realize.
but I think she ate like almost had a couple like really dangerous moments making
Yeah.
Baron Munchausen and like long hours for like a kid in dangerous positions.
Right.
But I think
Yeah.
but I think later on after the fact he ended up apologizing because he felt bad, which I appreciate.
What's the next one?
Best favorite quotes.
So many good ones.
Get this
And
one
this,
just right.
we talked about this earlier. I think this is fucking hilarious. But what Sam goes and he speaks to Dawson, who's the guy at the counter. I'm afraid I can't, sir. You have to go through the proper channels. And then Sam says, and you can't tell me what the proper channels are because that's classified information. I'm glad to see the ministry's continuing its tradition of recruiting the brightest and best, sir. Thank you, Dawson. And then it just ends. Right? Because he's just like, okay, yeah, you know the process.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that need to happen, and I can't tell you what they are because that would make things way too fucking easy. Good luck to you. And that's kind of the movie in a fucking nutshell.
Yeah.
Basically, like, good luck.
Yep, exactly.
I could tell you what's going
Welcome
on.
to the bureaucratic machine.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I could. Why would I do that? Then I wouldn't have a job standing behind this counter doing fucking nothing all day.
Seriously.
Okay, I gotta find it. I want to say it. Is that one of your triplets? Yeah, probably.
And he keeps calling her the wrong name.
Yeah. I just like that. Yeah,
It's
probably.
kind of adorable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's just. It's still likable. He's still so likable to me, even as like a piece of shit. I'm just like, this guy's fucking Michael Palin.
That's the only one you had?
That's the only one.
I got a bunch. I'm sorry. Give my best to Allison and the twins. Triplets. How time flies.
That was mine, yeah.
So good.
What would you like for Christmas? My own credit card. Don't fight it, son. Confess quickly. If you hold out too long, you could jeopardize your credit rating. Like, it just bloody typical. They've gone back to metric without telling us. Like, I just...
What's that receipt one? The
receipt for your husband?
Oh.
And
Yeah,
here's your receipt for your receipt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about that. It's like, can we
Yeah.
have your liver then?
Yeah.
Oh,
still
yes.
using it.
Absolutely.
All right, so I had the one about the triplets too, Derek. So I'm going to go with Dr. Jaffe going, just me and my little knife, snip, snip, slice, slice. Can you believe it?
I skipped this one for myself. Is it too long, too short? What's missing? What don't we need? I think this movie is fucking phenomenal. I outside of Jill, I honestly wouldn't change anything about this film. For a 1984 movie being 2 hours, it actually flies.
Much like
No
the
pun
movie.
intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they could. I don't think they should or could cut anything off of this movie, and I don't think they need to add anything extra. And there's nothing like everything that I love
just
about his
right.
movies. Yeah, everything I love about his movies is in this movie. So yeah.
Yeah, Goldilocks is porridge, baby. Just right. Not you.
No, it's
No,
not.
I was thinking of something. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Sorry.
fine.
I'm sorry. Everybody's fine. Yeah.
Fine.
Sometimes I think out loud without realizing that we're recording a show. I have a thought, and then I vocalize it, and I don't mean to.
Peanut butter.
Toast. No, it's fine the way it is. Doesn't need to be longer. Doesn't need to be shorter. Good.
I feel like I'm an odd man out. It is a little bit long.
Yeah, it's too long.
But, I feel like there's some... I feel like some of the scenes are a little drawn out, but I really wouldn't change anything. I like you guys said, it's good how it is, and
I put, it's fine. It tells its twisted story in just the right amount of time, and there doesn't seem to be any wasted scenes.
Boom.
If you remove the music score, does this film hold up? I don't think it does. This song, I have never seen a song in a movie used as well as this song. Is the actual song is in the movie.
Right.
The score is the song. The score
which Kamen
is
hated doing.
Dude, it's insane. Like the tense parts are Brazil.
Right.
The like soft, like magical parts are Brazil. The like adventurous parts are Brazil. The shit's fucking amazing. Like,
Everything.
it has to be called Brazil because of this song. It's so perfect.
Yep.
I just love throughout the movie, you are Sam. And at the end, when the movie ends, you're fucking humming the song to yourself or driving and you're thinking about the song and you're singing it to yourself. It's just done so fucking well. Every once in a while, it pops back up and it jumps into your brain. And it's just perfect. And it's in his head the entire time. Right. As Sam is moving through this journey, it's just done so. I think I think the movie is fucking fun as hell, but this song is like the fucking, what is it, cherry on top. Perfect.
Bing.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would work as well. This is more than a score; it's a character. It is the Jaws theme.
Thank you.
Right.
The theme of Jaws is 80% of that movie, and that's what people go out with. It's
Right.
the most popular thing of that film, and I think Brazil. It's in the title, like Tito said. It's in the score. It's the central character of this film, and without it, it's a huge chunk is lost. The magic is lost. The sets don't look as good. The Jonathan Pryce flying through the sky wouldn't look that great.
Sky's not as good.
I am convinced.
Dude, I'm sorry. He's singing it at the end of the movie.
That
You're
is
singing
chilling.
It
Yes.
makes
Yeah.
it makes everything better
Yeah.
for
What-
the viewer at the end. You're like, well, at least he still got Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
At least I still have Brazil.
Yeah.
Right.
always have-
And
always
he,
have Paris.
he always has Brazil. Brazil's always
Right,
with
it's
him.
always with them.
It's magical during the flying scenes. It's more normalized during the work scenes. And when he's at the end, it's a frightening thing. It's a monster of a moment.
Right. No, I think the ways that it doesn't hold up without the score. That first of all, I think the ways that Kamen utilizes that song because Gilliam wanted him to use it. He didn't want to, but he did it anyway, and he does it great. The slow, like how it slows down or picks up the momentum, like it and the tempo of the song matches whatever scene it's in, but it's still that same song, like you guys said. And
If you don't know, then you don't know.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
right,
You have no idea
Yeah.
that's playing throughout the entire
Right.
which is
And-
even crazier when you get to the end
and
and
it's
you're
such
humming
an-
that shit.
Was it Inception? I think it was a
Oh,
Nolan
the
movie.
music is playing
But when they're in the
slower
dream,
and
they play
slower.
it slow,
Yeah.
that it just sounds like a drone in the background.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
the
The further you get into the dream,
La
the
Vie and
slower-
Rose,
Right.
Yeah.
Was that the song?
It's either no, maybe not Livy and Rose. It's it's
they
by
do
that
do it in
singer.
but it is what I'm thinking
Yes.
of, right? It's Inception.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
When you start out the score of that movie as they go deeper and deeper to the dream, it's the same score, just
Yeah.
drawn out.
Right.
So it's cool when composers can play with music like
right.
that.
And and just the fact that like it kind of keeps that theme that Gilliam in his mind when he was writing this movie, he was listening to this song and he had it in his mind, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't really fit with the type of story you're telling, but because it was his inspiration, carries over into the movie and becomes the inspiration for everything. It's a great way to do it. So, and it, like I said, the song itself, the real song, is very lighthearted, and it's such a counterweight to just the grim ending and the grim world that he lives in. So
it has this like
Juxtaposition.
It's Demolition Man, but it has this like how they just listen to fucking the Oscar Mayer Wiener commercial.
right.
Oh yeah.
It has
Absolutely.
that feel to it. Like this would be a song approved by this government.
Yep.
Right,
But
exactly.
it really, it would make me feel better about my day every time I heard it. That I have to watch a screen that's too small, so I need a fucking magnifying glass right at my face so I can see the screen. That's too small.
Yeah,
Right.
that was weird, wasn't it? That everybody's computer
Yeah.
screens were like
Dude, it's-
2 inch by
yeah.
3 inch, and then they had these huge magnifiers
It's just like
in front
frying
of
your
them.
brain.
Yeah.
It feels,
It
just
really
like, let's
was
fucking
strange.
fry these guys' brains.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. This movie would not hold up without the song, without the music, because it is Brazil. You guys said it. It's not Brazil without Brazil, the song. We were talking before, Derek, in a previous episode, or maybe even a few previous episodes, where you brought up how there are no more themes for characters
Right.
anymore in movies that we got associated with, especially with John Williams. This movie kind of utilizes that.
Right.
But they use the song Brazil as, what do they call it, a leitmotif? So they use that as a framework for the rest of the score.
Right. And build off of that.
Yeah, and like I said, like they did it in Inception, by taking a song and just playing with it so it's like unrecognizable.
Right.
Because like Tito said, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, it's
Yeah,
just another
right.
piece of music.
Sure.
Right.
Those of us who know that it's the song Brazil, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So, shit.
Yeah.
How's it stack?
How
up?
does it stack up? Other Gilliams? He's
Top.
got a large.
You're
catalog.
first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's,
dearie.
so it'd be in my 5. There's a few at 12 Monkeys, Munchausen. That might be like my 3rd favorite. Fucking.
so top
Although
3.
Zero Theorem I saw recently.
Oh, I gotta
still
see
gotta
that.
see
that
it,
shit
yeah.
is fucking.
Is that available on Vudu?
I thought it was, and it's not.
I streamed it
son of
on
a-
something. I can't.
Yeah.
It was a while ago that I
Yeah?
saw, but I fucking really liked
Hopefully
that
it's still
movie.
available. I'd like to see it because you were talking about it last week.
And I was surprised by I didn't like Brothers Grimm that much.
Mm.
Thailand is okay.
I
Jabberwock is
forgot
a
he did
hard
Brothers
one for me
Grimm.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that I think if I go back and watch again, I might like. Monica Bellucci's
Oh,
in
yeah,
it.
it does have
I
Monica
feel like that movie had a
Bellucci.
lot of studio interference.
It did.
yeah.
It absolutely did.
That
he
one-
actually, so Tideland, he filmed while he was on a break. There was a 6-month hiatus from finishing Brothers Grimm.
Oh, okay.
Because of all the issues that he
I
was
am
having.
talking about Brothers Grimm,
No, I know.
Oh, okay. All right.
But when he was doing Brothers Grimm, he had such discrepancies with Weinstein.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
They just stopped. They like stopped working on it, and he went and did this other movie because he was so pissed at how they wanted him to.
It's funny. I like Matt
Brothers Grimm.
Damon now a lot.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a trailer for that movie, thinking like, "What the fuck's Matt Damon doing in my
Yeah.
movie?"
Yeah.
But he pops
Same
up
thing
in
with
Zero
Heath Ledger.
Theorem. He pops up in Zero Theorem, and
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
fucking
really?
awesome.
Wow.
He's awesome in it. That's another. I think we all we love those directors that work with the same
Stable
people.
of
Yep,
actors, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I didn't
are
realize
really
how
good.
many movies Catherine Hellman did with him. Like that he
She was in Time
She was in
Bandits.
Time Bandits, and yeah, like I
And this
never
one,
like.
and yeah.
She's just Mona to me.
Yeah.
Mona.
Yeah.
It's up there for me because I like fantasy, and I don't know. I guess maybe there's a lot of fantasy. I never felt like this is a fucking good movie. Not just those fantasy films that I watch, like a Beastmaster. That it's like, oh, it's a fantasy movie. It's fine, but this is a fucking good movie.
Yeah.
That's a fantasy film,
Right.
and I just never felt like there was a lot of that out there in the world. So yeah, this is a tops for me.
Yeah, tops for me as well. Definitely one of my favorites amongst Terry Gilliam movies, for sure.
Same, top across the board. Gilliam movies, dystopians, watch while you're high movies. Like I love it. It's definitely what like if not number one, then at least two.
I had said this. I was very excited for you to see it, never having seen it.
Right.
Knowing the other two movies we were gonna do prior,
Yep.
and to see because when I'm watching 13th Floor and Dark City,
Right.
I'm thinking about Brazil,
Right. Like how they took such inspiration from it, and
yeah,
people that never saw it don't
Right.
see that inspiration.
They
Yeah.
won't- They won't get it.
or even Tim Burton stuff, or even
Yeah.
those films like.
Right.
You can see that kind of draw. It's always those guys, though, the guys that nobody really cares about. I don't know that it's like Carpenter, right? He had some hits, but not many. But he made some really fucking awesome movies.
Yeah.
That inspired a lot of our favorite directors to.
Well, movies that are talked about more than mainstream Oscar winners, critically acclaimed films.
Sure.
I guarantee more people talk about The Thing than they do E.T. And I know that's a
Right.
bold statement because there are tons of E.T. fans out there. I know many people, and I know many people who are fans of E.T. Rarely does it come up in conversation.
Right.
Where I feel like with not just my horror friends, but a lot of my buddies in general, and somebody brings up The Thing at some point, be it weather, be it, like if there's a snowstorm outside or just Kurt Russell, something, it's in the zeitgeist more.
And all of them are good. Like they're all watchable. They're all like, because they take, they're making the movies that they want to make. And it's just a prime example of why studio, interaction really should just give me the money. Let me make my fucking movie.
That's what,
You know?
it's like what Mel Brooks said on The Elephant Man when
Yeah.
the studios would get involved. It's like, no, your job is to give me money.
Right.
I have not, you're not here to give any creative output.
Yeah.
Just,
Right. And
you're
that's what I
here
was
to
gonna
give me the
say.
money.
It's one thing if you have a person who is not established, who's never done anything, and it's like, all right, now I want to direct a movie.
No.
Like I was an actor, and now I want to direct a movie. But like when you have people like Carpenter, like Gilliam, where you like even early on, he had this string of work that he had done with Monty Python, and so it's like what you're getting. So if you're going to hire a direct, give money to a director like these guys, then you should know that like you can trust them to do it. They're going to make a good movie. They're going to make a Terry Gilliam movie, a John Carpenter movie.
Well, they're going to make the movie their way, and if
Right.
you don't want it to make it their way,
But that's what I was going to say.
Why did you
about
bring them on?
When you guys were talking about Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
it totally doesn't feel like a Gilliam movie for me either. It feels like he's just there to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a paycheck movie for him, and
It's
that's
like the
it.
Invisible Man.
He's phoning that one in.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
He
they
totally is.
like Miramax hired him thinking like,
he's Terry Gilliam.
fantastical and
Yeah.
he loves
He's
like
got a great
these crazy
imagination.
worlds.
Yeah.
But then the producers step in and
Right.
they step all over his vision, and they tie his hands behind his back, and he's not able to make the film the way he wants to make it, even though they probably promised him that he could.
Yeah.
There was probably something in the fine print that said no, we have final cut, you don't.
David Lynch's Dune, prime example. He hates it. He wanted to go all into this world, just even deeper into
There's
Frank
another
Herbert's
guy.
novel, and they were like, no, it's got to be more like Star Wars. It's got to be more like Star Wars. It's got to be more cohesive. It's got to be more fun. And it's a cult following.
You
and a
guys
lot
are
of
making the
people like it.
wrong book.
You got the wrong director for it, dude.
Yeah. Not fun.
No,
My girl's in it though.
which one?
Virginia Madsen.
Oh, yeah, Princess
Irulan.
Marmaduke. Oh, her too.
How's it stack up for you?
High. Yeah, for Terry Gilliam. Yeah. For high movies, it's high. For Terry Gilliam movies, it's no. For Terry Gilliam movies, I put it's high. It's one of his best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. By
Agreed.
far.
If the movie had a post-credit scene, I couldn't really think. The
I
movie
got
ends so
nothing.
fucking
Yeah.
well.
I put the same thing. I said it doesn't need one. It
No,
ends
the
on such a
post-credit
perfect-
scene is what and how it ends.
Is how it ends.
It is. It ends on such a perfect down note. It doesn't need anything else.
The only thing I could think was like
He goes
as he's
insane
sitting
and he's
there,
humming Brazil. That's it.
Harry slides down the rope, but he's too late, and, he just,
Oh.
and then it cuts to him just humming Brazil. But yeah,
And it cuts to it
ends so
becomes
well.
like that Monty Python skit with the bishop. We were too late. The poor Reverend bit the dust. Remember? You guys remember that one?
I feel like,
like he
you
got the
ruin it
scar
with
on his
anything
face.
else.
No,
Anything
yeah, it's
else
too
after
good.
that, you ruin that movie.
Award for what are you doing? Do you have a post?
No, I was just gonna say, I got nothing for either because I think we all envision sometimes that losing our minds must be like, but being in a blissful state would be better than living in the world you're in. So it's
Powerful
like
movie.
it really is the perfect ending.
Yeah.
Right, that's great.
Agreed.
Award for what are you doing in this movie? De Niro.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I saw it, even though I knew he was in it, I was like, fuck, De Niro's in this movie. But there
Did you
are
skip a bunch of them? I say
Did
this
I?
every week.
There's one.
I bounce around.
If you like this, then try.
And I have post-credit scene. We
Yeah,
did
we
that one.
just did
Okay.
that one.
Is there a better ending?
Yeah,
That's
we did
next.
that one. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
We
got.
got
so-
a group together for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
And then I have if you like this film,
Yeah.
and then MVP.
yes.
That's the way I've got it.
I do too.
I got
'Cause that's-
post credit scene.
that's how
award
it
for
was
what
in
are
the
you doing
original
in this
text
movie. Was
message.
it?
Because I copied and
I have a
pasted it.
template that I use for my notes every week.
Remind me at the end, and I'll switch it. I'll switch it around.
All right.
No, I'm just saying we can go whatever order,
What
but I
do
think
you-
it flows better this way.
So what
Which
are you
is
doing?
the order?
After how does it stack up? It should go post credit scene. Then
Yep.
is there a better ending?
Oh, is there a better ending?
No,
Yeah.
there is not.
No.
And then if you like this, then try.
I got. So I did write the Love Conquers All cut with the happy ending, but not nearly as effective as there is another ending.
There is another ending.
not
Yeah.
good.
No, it's not. It's the studio ending.
If you like this, you may also like. I got Adventures of Baron Munchausen, Time Bandits.
Oh, there you go.
I've got 1984, quite frankly.
Mars Attacks, Barbarella, V for Vendetta,
Oh, Barbarella.
Oh, Vivan?
Yeah.
Vivan
Vivan
Vendetta,
Vendetta, that's a
interesting
good one,
one.
too.
12,
Yeah.
12 Monkeys, and just any of the
forgot about V for
Monty
Vendetta.
Python
Good.
stuff and the Crimson Permanent Assurance. That is like one of my favorite things ever. Is the
Crimson?
Yeah, the short film that starts.
You know what's
starts
great
being
about
live.
that is the music.
It is. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. It's awesome, and just
Yeah.
like and it's like that's him. If you want to show a new person, like, hey, you've never seen Gilliam, you
Yeah.
know what he's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch this. Like, just
Yeah.
watch the zany, but like it's.
I recently watched. There was a docu-series on Netflix about the Monty Python group. And it started like episode 1 was their humble beginnings when they were all in college before they actually kind of met each other, like where they all got their start
Right.
and then how they all kind of grouped together. And it followed that progression. And then it got to like their movies. And, it started with, like they kind of broke it up with one episode was the Holy Grail. And then they went on.
Brian.
And when they got to the meaning of life, the meaning of life.
Meaning of Life.
I keep getting that mixed up with Life of Brian. When they got to Meaning of Life, and they said they wanted Gilliam to do a short film at the beginning of it, and then he turned in this 45-minute thing. They're like, nobody was there to tell him to stop.
Right.
and if you don't, Terry will not stop.
Well, he shouldn't.
No,
That's awesome.
no, absolutely. Like prime example of why you just shouldn't try to rein him in.
I love that movie. Meaning of Life. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
There's so many good things.
The salmon moves.
A tiger in Africa. Let's watch that.
Yeah. All right. So if I like this film, I might also like 1984, as Mark said. Blade Runner, Children of Men, A Clockwork Orange, Metropolis,
I was thinking of Clockwork Orange.
Orange.
Just
Gattaca,
now. Yes.
Gattaca,
Gattaca.
RoboCop, The Handmaid's Tale, Logan's Run, and Idiocracy.
All excellent choices.
What was the
Logan's Run.
Children of Mana?
Children of Men.
Children of Men. Okay.
Children of
with,
Men.
Clive Owen. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I kind of put that. I said Children of Men, A Clockwork Orange, so it might have came out with Children of Men.
Children of Mana.
Children of Mana.
Children, man.
Children of Mana,
Like,
Clockwork Orange.
is that a movie based on Magic the Gathering?
Sure never had no sex in the Star Wars.
Don't do that. Dog don't like that. Little dog don't like that.
Little dog don't like that. Okay, so
What are you doing?
Award for what are you doing in this movie? I picked De Niro,
Yep.
but there's a
First
fucking
time
billion.
first time reaction was De Niro back then.
Yeah, same. He's like when you first see it, it's like, oh wow, it's so out of place. Like, what the hell is De Niro doing here? But then he goes for it and he fits, and it's
Yeah.
like he belongs in this world.
Well,
Yeah.
he fits,
So
but he
it's-
doesn't fit. That's
Yeah.
what's cool
Well,
about it.
right,
He's like
right.
Yeah.
he's out of place, but it works.
Right.
Yeah.
But everything is so.
Yeah.
it all
that's true.
fits.
Yeah, I had De Niro too, but I just changed it to Broadbent because
Oh,
I
it's
forgot
about
that he
that.
was in it too.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
forgot Ian Holm was in it.
Yeah.
He was in Time Bandits, right?
He was in Time Bandits, but
So he was kind of like a regular for him.
up until that point, I don't think he used him
That's
after
a small
that.
part, though. He's
Yeah,
just like
very
the game
small
show
part.
host.
Yeah,
And then he's in
yeah,
that for,
and then
like,
he's in
Yeah,
this
I
one.
never
He's
knew Jim Broadbent until Moulin Rouge.
Same here. Same here, which is
oh,
weird
really?
because
Yeah.
this guy has been like kicking around England
Right.
forever, apparently. And now
Like
he's
one of their biggest comedic actors.
and now he's all the rage,
Yeah.
as the kids say. Kids can't get enough Broadbent, you know?
He's not Moxie, that one.
He's looked the same forever.
He has.
surprisingly.
He really has.
He's
The
the
big-
Wilford Brimley.
I'll
of-
never take down my Jim Broadbent poster.
You have it over your bed, like what's his name in Christmas Vacation, so you can look up at it.
Claudia Schiffer.
Yeah.
Imagine. But he's dressed like Rob Lowe in the fucking
Oh,
Corey Haim poster.
yeah, Lamal.
Yeah.
Just like Lamal.
He's dressed like
Never ending broad. No.
MVP.
MVP. I got Jonathan Pryce. I think he's really he is great in this film.
Yeah.
My
Great
MVP.
leading guy.
Oh, sorry, I
No,
thought
go
you
ahead.
My MVP is the score. It's the song.
Yeah. Mine's Gilliam.
I picked Jonathan Price too, Tito.
Look at that. All right.
Good picks. Brazil.
That's Brazil.
That's it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's Brazil. We're all in agreement.
Look at
Awesome
that.
movie. Great pick. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Absolutely.
Tito always has great picks.
You do.
Like you really like
You do.
you've opened my eyes to so many movies.
Thanks, man.
I'm
Oh
like
my God.
so, I
Whoa.
know.
Jeez,
like
we
I know
gotta
I'm
leave the
so
room,
like
yeah.
honestly, I'm gonna
You
get
guys
real.
wanna be alone?
I'm getting real for a minute. I am so appreciative that you joined this show and that
Oh,
you've
thank
Oh,
you.
you're the one.
and
Oh, shit.
Foul. That's damn.
no, I just
I thought we had a thing,
But
but I
honestly,
guess
there's so many movies that I never would have checked out. had
I'm
you
glad
not
that I'm
said.
here too.
And I-
Same.
Yeah.
For all the same reasons.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of
You guys are gonna
there
make
are
me
a lot
cry.
of things that I have not seen that I've been introduced to through you guys, which has been really
like
great.
penis. Lots of
Yeah,
penis.
Lots
lots
of
of
that.
Yeah.
He's not going to apologize.
Sharkula.
But he's good,
No apology.
no
necessary.
apology necessary.
The Room.
Penis.
Manos.
Man.
That's right.
Manos.
Well, not that stuff, but other things.
Alligator, Rawhead Rex, the good stuff. Yeah, right. I get you. You don't have to say it. I can see it in your eyes.
Rickshaws.
Rickshaw.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh.
All right.
Gonna have to do that when I
Geek
get back to
flags?
New York.
Geek flags. What's making our geek flags fly?
Yeah, for real.
Tito, is your flag flying?
Oh shit, yeah, it is. I watched Wedding Crashers recently.
Nice.
I forgot how funny that movie was, But I also forgot how much I liked Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
So I
She's
started
really good in
watching
that movie.
Rachel McAdams movies. I
So
watched
she's-
that. I watched Red Eye, and I watched Spotlight.
Oh, Red Eye is good.
I never saw Red Eye. That's one with
Yeah.
Cillian
Red Eye?
Murphy,
Cillian
right?
Murphy.
I was
Yeah.
like, why don't they
Plane.
make movies like this anymore? She gets abducted on a plane. It doesn't make sense, but it does. She escapes somehow.
Yeah.
She escapes the plane. She escapes him. She kills the bad guy in the end.
Oh, spoilers.
It's very formulaic. It's a Wes Craven movie. I'd never heard
Is it
of.
really?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
Wes
Jesus.
Craven
Yeah.
directed it. It's fun. I watched that, and then I watched Spotlight,
Why
which
aren't
I
we
had
watching
never
that right
seen.
now?
We could
We
watch
could.
it.
It's short,
We could.
quick, hour
To the
and
point.
30-ish minutes. Yeah, so fucking Rachel McAdams, man, she's a shit.
Shout out to Rachel McAdams.
Yeah,
Making our flags fly.
that's what I've been doing, watching Rachel
Among
McAdams.
other
There's
things.
nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that.
My heart. She makes my heart
She
soar.
makes you, yeah. We eating bonbons while watching it?
What's making me?
I wanted you.
your-
Mark is swooning.
I
He
wanted
has
you to finish.
I'll
Swooning.
finish later.
I saw Thanksgiving, and it's
Oh, good
Yeah, it
movie.
was.
awesome.
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
I loved it.
I love Eli Roth
lot of
stuff,
fun.
and I absolutely love this film from start to finish. Sarah and I watched it. We loved it.
They're already making a sequel.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, the way it ended, they would have to. But
Yeah.
I loved how it borrowed from the 80s slasher, but also kind of brought back the
90s.
Scream
Yep.
formula, but without just being a blatant ripoff. Like it had the Eli Roth touch to it of comedy. The kills are fantastic. The cast is awesome. I cannot recommend this movie enough. Thanksgiving, see it. And we have a Thanksgiving horror movie.
That's right.
I know we've had a couple of low budget and direct to videos,
Yeah.
but thank you, Eli Roth. Now get to work on
And this is
Easter.
another movie that started off as a false trailer.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the only one that hasn't been made is the Rob Zombie one, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
he tried
Werewolves
to.
of the
He
Third
tried
Reich.
to.
exactly,
But again,
yeah.
studio interference.
Right.
He got
Fuck 'em.
frustrated with it.
Did he really? He wanted to try and make it?
He was going to.
Ah, damn.
He
You should
was.
just see. But you know what? What's gonna happen is it's gonna get to directors like him being like just they're gonna self-fund. They're gonna end up starting to make their own movies.
I'll tell you,
the
after
way they
the
want.
Monsters fiasco, if that's the way I would like to see. I would like to see him come back with that.
Well, didn't he have all that wasn't that him?
Yes and no. Yes and no. He wanted to do the whole thing black and white. They wanted it. He wanted it more like.
I don't think
There's a
black
bunch
and
of
white
them.
or color matters.
I don't think
Yeah.
it would have either.
I don't know if he's got other ideas besides that.
I don't think any ideas
As
would
far
have.
as the
I
black and
love the
white to
guy,
color
but
thing,
Monsters was tough. I
Rob,
can't.
what else do you have kicking around in your notebook?
Well, they were all gonna.
That's
So,
it.
but back
Black
to
and white? No.
but back to the false trailers and Thanksgiving. They all were gonna get made and shown as Grindhouse features, right? Weren't they gonna continue this whole double
I
feature?
don't know.
thing
That I didn't
on?
know.
Yeah.
That I
That
don't
would've been
know.
I thought I
wish
thought
they
I
had
heard
done
that.
Well, I
but
mean,
the idea tanked. Nobody dug it at
Miramax
the
is
time.
no more, so
No, they're not.
it's probably not.
No.
You know,
I saw that in the theaters, Grindhouse. That
Did
was
you?
a fucking
Oh God,
long
I wish
night.
I did.
Oh, that's
I
right.
would.
I went with Mary. She
4
fell
hours.
asleep. The second movie was
Was
Death
Planet
Proof.
Terror.
Death Proof.
Oh, was it?
Oh, Death
Yeah.
Proof was the second one.
Yeah, wasn't it?
When I
I
saw
thought
Death-
Planetara was the first
Planetara was the first. Death
Yeah.
Proof was the second. Mary fell asleep like 5 minutes into Death
I love
Proof.
them both. They're
one. The
awesome.
better one.
I watched the whole
love Death
movie.
Proof.
Yeah,
It's
me
the
too.
better
Death Proof was
movie.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. That was a
Death
fucking
Proof
long
definitely
night.
is, but I just like the cast in Planet Terror. It's a
There
lot
was no
of fun.
intermission. What had intermission? Hateful Eight had an intermission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
I didn't see
there was
it
like
in
a
theaters.
15-minute break in the
Yeah,
movie.
that's like
where
a
you could
3.5
leave and
hour
come
movie.
back.
Wow.
Yeah,
And then that one's got a director's cut on Netflix too, where they break it up into it's like a 4.5 hour movie now.
Yeah.
And they break it up into like 4 segments.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Chapters.
Yep.
what's making you geek?
Oh, my
bitch?
geek flag. Well, Deadpool 3, the trailer. That was great.
Yep.
But also, I've been gaming lately. I keep hopping from game to game.
Neil? Oh,
There's a game called
Neil Gaiman.
it's called Arcade Paradise. So funny that we were talking last week about simulation games.
Yeah.
Well, this game it's first person. You start off owning you're taking over your father's laundromat. He's gone, and he has a laundromat, and in the back room there's like 3 video game arcade things. So you end up like expanding the place yourself with the money you make from the laundromat, and you put more arcade games in, and it gets bigger and bigger, and you know, all the games are playable. They're all kind of like, you know, different versions of like some classic games. Plus they have like, you know, pool and darts and foosball, and which, you know, it's wicked fun. But it's like, it's one of those games like the lawnmower simulation for me. It's like calming. It just that chills
Brings
me
you
out.
to a state of zen.
And Siobhan walks in, and she obviously sees me playing a game where I'm literally loading a washing machine. A laundry washing machine.
She's like, you can do it here,
exactly.
but you
She's
can't
like,
do it in real life.
She's like, you're playing a game where you're doing laundry. Like, really? And I'm like, it's more than that. But it's a really fun game.
There are zombies in the drum.
Very cool.
You try.
Like 80s style sound or 90s style soundtrack. It's cool. It you know, if you get a chance to check it out, it was, I think PlayStation Store has it on sale. The deluxe edition it was like $20, so I just bought
Deluxe
it.
edition of laundry.
Yeah.
Well, no, because there was DLC. There was
DLC.
There's DLC.
Yeah, the colors, the
Kung
separates.
Fury
Yeah.
and-
They have comfy socks.
The whites.
Played a
bleach.
couple of times, get some dryer sheets
You
as
get
a
the
bonus.
DLC. Yeah, right. Fucking
Do you
Downy.
get to clean
You
out
get
the
Downy?
lid? Do you get to pull the clean
No,
the lids out of the
but- no,
dryer
but you have-
and get it all
but you
over?
have to-
Fire.
Do you get
but you do have to go around to all the games and clean out the hoppers. Take the.
Oh, that sounds
the
like
money.
a lot of work.
Do you get Snuggle the Bear as a companion?
Oh,
later
that would
on?
be awesome. Can you kill Snuggle the Bear? That would be big. Get over here, you little...
No.
All right, fine. Well, you haven't sold me on it then.
All right.
I'm sorry,
Arcade.
Doug, yeah. You should
Arcade Paradise.
Arcade Paradise. No Snuggle the Bear.
It's fun just to play the
next
games.
DLC.
too.
Snuggle a bear.
So I started watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon Prime Video
With
the Donald Glover and Maya Erskine show.
Yep.
Very similar to the movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. But this one's different. They're strangers when they meet.
Right.
So they land jobs with the spy agency that, you know, offers them a life of espionage, lots of money and travel and, you know, all the stuff that goes along with being a spy. But the catch is that they don't know each other when they meet. They're in an arranged marriage.
Right.
So they have to learn to live together.
Like
They're
Russian
total
sleeper cells.
strangers. Kind of, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So they're strangers when they meet, and it's kind of a slow burn because at first it's like they don't know each other, so there's like absolutely no chemistry between them.
Yeah.
We've watched up to episode 3, and it's starting to pick up.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is fun because it was very James Bond-esque. It takes place on a ski slope where they have to like trail this other family. Something's going on, so they've got the room next to them, and they're drilling a hole in the wall between the hotel rooms, and they've got to like, you know, bug their phone and blah, blah, blah. And in the meantime, they're having their own issues because they're not getting along. They're finding out that they can't live together and blah, blah, blah. And the people that they're trailing, their marriage is falling apart. So they're listening to them fight the whole time. Yeah, it's very cool, though. I'm kind of digging it, but it was slow to get into it first.
I'll have to check it out. I like Donald Glover.
I love Donald Glover. He's fantastic.
And who's the girl? What's she been
Maya
in?
Erskine.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
but she didn't look familiar.
Yeah, she was in that show Pen 15. Blue-Eyed Samurai, Wine Country.
She has like real short hair and.
She's a Netflix chick, right?
Yeah. She's kind of a Netflix chick. Yeah, she's Asian.
I fucking hate Pen 15.
Yeah,
you saw that?
I didn't like it.
I watched it.
I never watched it either.
It's like the show. I
It's
feel
about
like
two
if
high
you're
school
a
girls,
guy,
right?
it just fucks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're two adult women
She plays somebody in the Obi-Wan
playing
series.
13-year-old girls. Everybody else on the show is age appropriate, though.
Oh, I didn't know
So there's
that.
like an episode about masturbation, and that makes sense for an adult woman
Right.
when you're watching it. But it's like playing with your head.
Right.
Where you're
Yeah.
like, no, I'm supposed to be pretending that this is a 13-year-old girl discovering herself.
Right.
Some of it's funny, but some of it's like, damn, this
is creepy.
This is like
Yeah.
making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a
I
couple
feel
of friends
like
who
that-
absolutely love it, and they're women, so
Yeah.
it makes sense to me.
Talking
I was
about
like,
it
are
later.
you trying to fuck with me on purpose? I can't tell. If I'm
Probably.
if I'm supposed to be okay with watching this show
Right.
that you have created for me. But she is funny on the show. That's funny. I didn't realize that was her.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
She has like a bob in the show. but
Yeah.
she's like a
Yeah. No,
13-year-old
her hair's
girl.
longer in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like I said, they play well together, but they don't have a lot of chemistry at the beginning, and that's probably by design.
I'm sure it'll change.
You know, because Donald, he's got like chemistry,
Yeah.
I almost said galore. Jesus Christ.
You did.
No.
Yeah.
He oozes chemistry.
He oozes
Hello.
chemistry.
Chemistry.
Listen, we're throwing
In
booze
sp-
around
he's
way
got
too
it in
fast.
spades.
I'm bringing it back. You
Oh,
used it, I'm
Derek.
bringing it back.
Hey,
Anything
Mark?
else, Brian?
No, that's it for my geek
All
flag.
right. Well, did you like this awkward moment? Well, let me tell you, in the past, how many years we've been doing this? We have had many an awkward moment on this show with many episodes that you can go back and check out and listen to, especially if you're a first-time listener and listen to this show and like what you heard and you want to hear us just rant and rave and regurgitate more geek goodness like we did tonight. Well, Brian,
Yes, Mark.
where can they go?
Mark, they can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
gdpodcast.com. And as Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, along with one-click buttons where you can easily subscribe to us if you haven't already. Push one of those shiny buttons to the podcast platform of your choice, and you will never miss an upcoming episode. All of our social media links are there. We are found on Facebook, Twitter.
That's not a thing anymore.
It's not. And honestly, we don't post a lot on Twitter.
Fuck those
I should
people.
probably
Fuck
not
Twitter.
even mention it
Yeah.
anymore. Instagram and our audio can be found weekly on Cox. Can be found weekly on YouTube as well.
And our OnlyFans.
And our OnlyFans page. Don't forget OnlyFans, where you can see naked pictures of Derek
Yeah.
with his
That's it,
snuggle
baby.
bear to your heart's content.
That's it. Watch him do laundry.
He just,
Watch him try on the underwear fresh out of the dryer.
Oh, sick.
And
There's
then
a
he
market
looks
for
around.
it.
Then he looks around the laundromat to try to figure out whose it is. But
You'd be surprised.
let's see what else have we got. We got Derek. We have a Ko-fi page.
page.
We have a Ko-fi page. Ko-fi is kind of like Patreon, where if you like the show, and we really hope you do, you can make a small donation to help keep the show going, because as we say, podcasting is not cheap. Most importantly, though, please leave a 5-star rating and a review wherever you can rate and review podcasts, or you just go to the website. You can do it right there. Super easy. A 5-star review and a 5-star rating and a review go a long way to help push our little show a little further forward from the rest of the podcast pack. And more importantly, it makes it easier for others to find us while they are searching for great podcasting content just like ours. And I think that's pretty much it. If I have forgotten anything, I apologize. And I'm just going to say thank you out there for listening and turn it back to you, Mr. Mark Macarena.
before we go, I just want to remind you guys that if you've got nothing to do Saturday, March 23rd, clearly not listen to any new shows of us, because we're not going to be around
Catch
for-
Derek dig a bigger hole than he already has.
With a spade.
Next week.
We're going
What's his
back
name?
to 3. Guys, check out the Horror Depot's AuthorCon, Saturday,
Yes.
March 23rd, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Rhode Island College in Union Hall. It is hosted, put together by our good friend Joshua Dallin. We have had him on the show many times before. He is one of our most loyal listeners, one of our dearest friends. He always puts on great events, be it screenings, conventions, and he's starting a new one for horror writers, comic book writers. There's still some tables. You can check out his Facebook page, the Horror Depot, and check it out. Tables aren't expensive. There's still some room left. If not, just come on down and check it out. It's a new event,
And
we
you're
gotta
gonna
show
be there?
support.
Yep.
I will be there selling issues of Werewolf with a Chainsaw and the Dark Saint Returns and anything else I managed to put together between now and March, which probably won't be much, but hey, you never know. So please check out this event. And other than that, I think that's it. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and everybody for listening. For 3 Geeky Dads, I'm Mark.
I'm Derek.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tito.
Saying keep watching the skies, because it's a beautiful blue sky with a flying little price, and he flies and flutters along. He's fluttering and flying.
When did you become Irish?
After me Lucky Charms. And the girl he's after is just,
There's chemicals in your Lucky Charms.
there's chemicals in your Lucky Charms. Yeah, you're not eating kid cereal anymore because you're afraid of the sugar intake. All your kids are allergic to peanut butter now. You're not buying that.
I hate that.
Take
I hate
this
that.
money. No,
The peanut butter thing.
No,
Are you
but
humming Brazil?
Derek, that money could be used to help us continue to hate peanut butter.
Yeah.
There you go. And jelly.
Fuck peanut butter.
Yeah.
Try Lucky Charms instead.
Yeah.
No.
There's chemicals in it. It's tragically malicious.
That's good. You just gotta give your kids a little bit of peanut butter.
That's
They'll do
it.
right?
And that's where we'll end it on that beautiful megathon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, yeah. Star trekking across the universe. Have you been listening to that song?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great
It's
song,
very
isn't
catchy.
it?
It's very catchy. And then I was telling Siobhan that that's what we were doing the show on.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what the movie was, obviously.
Nice.
She's like, "Oh, is it like the song? Or is the song in it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, all right." And so she went to go play it. She's like, "Oh, I love that song." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't know it." And before I watched the movie, and she goes, "Oh, no, you would have for me." And then she plays it, and it's a fucking totally different song.
There's
by an Irish guy, Declan something.
Yeah, hundreds of versions of this fucking song.
No, and it's not even but it's not even a version of the song.
Oh, it's
just
just a
called
different-
Brazil for some reason.
God damn
Oh,
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
With an S?
Brazil.
Brazil.
And it's Irish, huh? Brazil, the leprechauns are here.
They whispered in my ear.
The things I want to hear.
Here.
So a redhead tells her blonde friend, "I slept with a Brazilian," right? The blonde replies, "Oh my God, you slut! How many is a Brazilian?"
I like that one.
I like that too.
Good.
I don't think you need to read
No,
it. I think
do
you
I
just
need to?
read it.
That was-
I was thinking, I'm like, that sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
You want me to just play the music and we'll go from there?
let's do it.
Nice.
Fuck.
Hey.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Best favorite quotes.
All right, I'm just gonna.
What happened?
I'm picking up something.
thought
in my
I was
headphones.
tapping my foot.
I asked Mark if he was
Yeah.
tapping his foot because all I can hear in my headphones is like really low.
Is it still there?
I'm not hearing it now.
Oh, maybe I was doing it without realizing it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Chill the fuck out.
That's why
Continue.
like you were talking. I'm like, something's tapping.
I'm
like,
I'm excited to talk Brazil.
Nobody's tapping the
Shit,
table,
my
and
fault.
I'm like, I just know that somebody at
Home.
listening
At
to
home.
this later is going to hear that button thing. Like, what the fuck is
You,
that?
the viewer.
They got rid of the
you
squeaky
say?
chairs, and now what the fuck is introduced? Into
I've had a lot of caffeine, the viewer. The listener.
Oh, I didn't do this.
again. You're not hearing?
I just heard that.
All
yeah,
right.
I did hear it.
I didn't.
Is it me?
I didn't do it that time.
I wonder if it's like
Is it? Yeah, it could be a chord.
it's a chord.
Do it. Not you. You.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something on your end.
I think it's the
Okay.
green chord.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
No.
Oh,
If you
the
can.
gung, 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 gung,
Yeah.
gung.
That's me for letting it just.
It's the listen
Hang
for
like
the
that.
chord and call in and win the prize.
We'll fix it in
All right,
post.
caller number 7.
Right.
Fuck it, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, seriously, guys, donate. You know, it's been how many years? What are you spending your money on? Everything is on your phone now. You don't need a porn subscription because you can just get it on the phone. You don't need movies to pay, or all your streaming services don't amount to that much these days. No one's buying cable anymore. Everybody is 86 cable.
It's all about disposable income.
Exactly.
That's it.
What are you spending your money on?
Most of
Everybody's
it in our
gone
account.
vegan. I'm sure you're not spending a lot of money on meat. Nobody's buying Cocoa Puffs anymore because of the chemical scare. What are you spending your money on?
Chemical scare.
Yeah, there's a chemical scare in cereal.
Is it really?
No, I just totally made that up.
I was gonna
See-
say, what the
See
frick
how
was
you
I?
bought it, though?
I am so gullible.
Our listeners would have bought it until you just shut them in.
It's all right, folks. This is all getting edited out.
Oh, come on. No, it isn't. If he can keep his
Who said he was?
was just jumping in. Yeah.
No, I like.
No,
what
it's
was
just
happening.
me. Okay.
I was on a roll. Tito,
I
I
like
thought
what
you were
was
going to
happening.
continue with that melodic
He
bass.
sounded
I
like
like what
Scuttle.
was happening.
Huh?
He's Scuttle from Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That's beautiful.
I'm singing into my dingle hopper.
Fine.
Humans use these babies to.
Stick in their ass. Oh, goodness.